This Osage Indians live broadcast on Lake TV is brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, the Midmo Sports Network, Surdike Yamaha, Marcus Sikora State Farm, Polylift Boat Lifts, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists, Ozark Homes, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Above and Beyond Roofing, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Columbia College Lake of the Ozarks, Big Surf Water Park, the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks, LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram, and Hedges Scott Funeral Homes. It's time for the Slumberland Furniture pregame show.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Lake TV's coverage of live high school football. William Holtz alongside Chris Schneider here. And our game of the week this week, Chris, two teams sitting at 2-1, and both teams off to a really good start.
Yeah, it ought to be really interesting. This is kind of the deciding game. It's one of those key games early in the season that kind of decides where you're going to go for the rest of the season. These two teams come in almost identical. They're at the top of the conference. They have 2-1 records. Things have been going pretty good so far. So the team that takes control tonight kind of finds their stride. They kind of find their identity for this season ahead, and they put the flag down that we're the team to beat. And the loser's going to kind of have to regroup and come back, but they're going to have to, they'll be the underdog. And so This is a key big game tonight. The winner that takes this tonight is going to have the upper hand going forward.
Just a little bit from kickoff tonight here on your Slumberland Furniture pregame. During our pregame show tonight, Chris and I, we're going to talk with both head coaches. We'll look at one player, one from the Hallsville Indians, one from the Osage Indians, and we'll break down what Osage has to do to try to limit this powerful offensive attack from Hallsville. That and much more when we return after this.
It's back, finally, Slumberland's clearance event. Our first clearance event in 3 years. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, discontinued and one-of-a-kind items. Crazy low prices like beds as low as $199, sofas as low as $298, recliners as low as $198. Hey, did you know most Slumberland items can be in your home in a week? Hurry into our first clearance event in 3 years. In store at all Slumberland locations.
And we're back here on the Slumberland Furniture pregame show, just minutes away from the Hallsville Indians against the Osage Indians here. It's the annual homecoming game, Chris, and that always adds extra festivities and maybe even a little bit of extra pressure. And the Indians, for their homecoming match, boy, they have a very talented opponent.
Yes, they do. This Hallsville team is, I think Hallsville is going to be the team to beat in this conference for a while. I mean, for years to come. And the main reason is they made a coaching change this offseason. Coach retired. They got a new coach. Well, the coach they got, Justin Conyers, is a superstar. I mean,
that's right.
This guy was at Battle for 6 years, right? And they were eligible for 5 of those years. They won 5 division titles. I think the worst they did was go to the quarterfinals in the state tournament, and they won the state championship once under this guy. This guy he's an amazing coach. So with that happening for Hallsville, I think that kind of changes the whole scene in the conference because he is a rock star as far as coaches go. And the other coaches, the other teams in the league, they're going to kind of have to pick up their game. So last week is just kind of a precursor. This Hallsville team rocked Eldon. I mean, they just rocked them. The first play, I think they went 96 yards. Their first offensive play, 96 yards from scrimmage, and they didn't slow down from there. Eldon scored late in the game to get on the scoreboard. Other than that, it was just pretty much, it was a beating. This Hallsville team is good, and they're getting better all the time. So it's going to be a great challenge tonight for Osage.
Yeah, and two of their players you got to look at the tailback position. Mason Husky first. Now, he was the kid last week that took that first play, 96 yards to the house. And we'll get to him in a little bit. And another one for Hallsville is their other running back, who's probably equally as dynamic and maybe even more dynamic, and that's Cooper Crane. And I mean, I'll tell you what, this kid was their heart and soul a season ago. And we both talked to our head coach throughout the week, and he said, listen, this kid was the star of this team a year ago, when he's just picked up right where he's left off, that being Justin Conyers. And I actually got a chance to talk with Coach Conyers just a little bit ago.
Now joined by Hallsville head coach Justin Conyers. In your first year, Coach, 2-1 off to a good start, but you got yourself a pretty tough opponent tonight.
Yes, we do. You know, they're very physical on film, and we're hoping that we can match up physicality up front on both sides of the football tonight.
You know, when you look at your team, obviously you got Cooper coming back and obviously an incredible player, and Mason Husky. Talk about those two and how you get them involved early tonight.
You know, they're both very dynamic. They both do things, you know, special for us in the run game. And so tonight it's kind of like thunder and lightning. You know, Cooper's kind of the up-the-middle guy, and Mason's on the edge guy. So we got to get those guys established early if we're going to have success on offense.
All right, so just 3 years into your first year, or 3 games, sorry, into your first year at Hallsville. What's it been like going from Battle back to a smaller school?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been amazing. The community support that we've received has just been absolutely outstanding. Every Friday night we've had a home game, you look up and the stands are completely packed. Everybody wearing school colors, cheering us on. It's been amazing to be a part of so far.
Coach, hey, good luck tonight against a very good Osage team.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Conyers is a superstar. You might have kind of gotten a glimpse of it there when he was talking with Will. And he was talking about community there at Hallsville. That was my main question for you during the week. Why would a guy who is succeeding at the big school, winning state championships, go down to a smaller school? Well, his wife went to Hallsville. His kids go there now. And so he was commuting all the time. He just wanted to be there in the community, be close. Yeah. And so it's a perfect fit for him to be there. And let me tell you something, Hallsville's really happy to have him there. So this is his first year after leaving Battle. He won a state championship at Battle. Hallsville was 3-6 last year. They've obviously gotten a little bit better this year. And the coach will tell you, he worked with this team in the summer. He says, we made a lot of strides because we put in new offense. Yeah. We put in new defense in the summer. We made a lot of strides, but he said, my main key is to change the attitude and the effort. Yeah. And that's kind of his motto. He says, you have a great attitude and you have a lot of effort, and then you're going to have success. And he has had success, and so will this Hallsville team.
That's right, and one of their big-time playmakers we touched on, Mason Husky. He's actually tonight's Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, spotlight player of the game. He's not even their starting running back. It's Cooper Crane. But last week, took him 5 carries to go 195 yards, Chris. That's 40 yards a carry. Give the kid the rock. 2 scores. He also leads the team with 2 interceptions, and he's tied for second on the team with 22 tackles on the season. He's a do all things, and he does a nice job of taking the pressure off of their star, Cooper Crane, as well as the quarterback for this Hallsville team, who runs the football a lot better than they throw. And speaking of Hallsville, Chris, just like Osage, they are a run-first team. Maybe we'll open up the passing game, but let's run the football first.
Absolutely, and one of the reasons why they're so successful running the ball is because they've got a great line in front of them opening up holes. So now we'll go to the national anthem.
And a wonderful part of our pregame show each week, Chris, our national anthem. And, you know, we were talking about this Hallsville team. They're going to be tough, but let's not forget, it's the Osage Indians homecoming game. They've played very well late last week to beat California, and they're excited, and so they want to defend their home turf. We'll talk with head coach Devin Johnson, and we'll talk about the Osage quarterback who needs to have a very big game tonight in order for Osage to have a chance. We'll talk about that and much more when we return to our Slumberland Furniture pregame show after this.
Hi, this is Kendall Surdike, and at Surdike Yamaha, we have been selling and serving the Ozarks for almost 50 years. We've learned during that time that our customers expect the best in their Yamahas, with same-day service and even courtesy loaner units. That is why at Surdike Yamaha, you receive 1 year of free scheduled maintenance with every new and used recreational Yamaha bought. You can have more fun with your Yamaha boats and wave runners that are assembled right here in the USA and won't have to worry about maintenance costs for the first year because it is on us.
You ride on a reputation.
And we're back here on our Slumberland Furniture pregame show, Chris, as the Indians storm the field. An incredible crowd here for the annual homecoming game. And Coach Devin Johnson, he's here in his 6th season with the Osage Indians, and he's no stranger to these Hallsville Indians. He spent 2 years as their head coach back in 2012 and 2013. And let us not forget, this man is a 2003 graduate of right here at school, the Osage, so when the opportunity presented itself before the 2014 campaign for Coach Devin Johnson to come home, he said it was an easy decision for him and his wife and their 2 kids. His wife, a principal here within the district, and they are beloved. I talked with some of the folks within the administration at Hallsville, and every time I get to talk with those folks, they have nothing but incredible things to say about the Johnson family. They say, man, we obviously love what we have, but we miss the Johnsons. They were so great for our community, so great for our district, so great for the kids, and they always root for his success. And I got an opportunity to talk with Coach Johnson earlier, Chris, and I always ask him, you know, is this game any bigger than the other games? And he always says no, but you know what? He's got to be lying just a little bit because he said 7 games in his career of this rivalry. 2 when he was the Hallsville head coach, he won them both. Right. He said 5 so far here at Osage. He's 4-1, and his only loss was last year, a 40-15 blowout at Hallsville. So I know Coach Johnson is eager to avenge that loss, and I got an opportunity to talk with him just a little bit ago.
We got Osage head coach Devin Johnson. Coach Johnson, homecoming, Hallsville. Where would you rather be than right here, right now?
You know, it's a special night for our community. I mean, this is the 3rd game in a row that we've been able to host, and we're fortunate for that. We just got off the bus from the parade about an hour ago and had a lot of kids, a lot of enthusiasm down there on the strip. We've had nice festivities all week. Our guys have done a great job of handling what the business they need to handle and also trying to have fun and be with their peers. And we've had a lot of energy, honestly, from the crowd the last 2 nights, and I expect nothing different than this beautiful evening.
Coach, do you feel a little bit more of a sense of urgency to win this game with your next 3 going on the road?
Well, every game is tough in our conference, and we know that. We're going to get challenged every single Friday night. There is not an easy game the rest of the way, and that's good because you're going to be tested in districts and the next 3 on the road, like you said, but you got to win a big road game if you're going to play for what you want to play for. So I mean, you got to get used to that, and we feel like we had a little bit of momentum last week in that 4th quarter, and honestly, I'm just hoping that our guys are able to carry that momentum over to the beginning of this game.
Coach, 2 players on their roster. You got Husky, you got Crane. What do you do to slow them down?
Well, they're a great 1-2 punch. Crane's more of a downhill kid. He's more physical. Husky has a lot of speed. They've both been starting since their sophomore year, so they got a ton of experience. The option scheme makes it tough on our defense. We got to do our job. We're going to have to execute. They got a fast overall team speed, so we're going to have to be physical and try to make sure that we are beating the points.
Coach, you'll probably say no. I always ask you to play Hallsville. A little bit of extra pressure on you, seeing it's your former school?
No. Every Friday night's huge. And thanks for asking. No. I loved my time in Hallsville, and I've told you that many times, and I really did. I love the community. They're great people. It's a small little breadbasket community, and I know a lot of the kids on there still. The senior class was 6th graders and undefeated in their youth football when I was there, so I know most of those kids. My wife and I were back home. We love it here at Osage. We've been really blessed in our lives.
I knew I wanted to give you the opportunity because I know you think highly of the area. Coach, good luck tonight. I appreciate your time. Osage head coach Devin Johnson.
And so he knows that his Indians are going to have to get off to a fast start, Chris. And let's both pick a few factors about what Osage has to do. And I'm going to give you 3 that I think are incredibly crucial.
Okay.
First, you can't turn the football over.
Right.
We've seen Osage do that this season so far as some timely, costly turnovers. You have to eliminate the big play. We know that this Hallsville team has playmakers. They rip off runs of 50, 60, 70 yards through 3 weeks at will. You have to eliminate that. And 3, Osage has to get off to a fast start so this crowd that's at capacity gets into the game early and they take that momentum, because if they don't keep this game close, I'm telling you what, Hallsville is that good. They will run away with it, and they will do so before you can say lickety-split.
Yeah, and then last week was a case in point. I agree with you. I think probably the biggest key for Osage in this one is to get off to a quick start. I mean, when we did their game against Moberly a couple of weeks ago, they got off to a slow start. In fact, they didn't even come awake until the fourth quarter, and then they made it a pretty good game in the fourth quarter. They had their chances, but for the first 3 quarters, there was really nothing. They can't afford to do that tonight against this really tough-minded Hallsville team with Justin Conyer leading the way for them, because they will steamroll you. If they get going, and with the first-year head coach, they're gaining confidence not only every week, but Hallsville's gaining confidence every quarter. The kids starting to believe in this new system and their new coach and seeing that it's working. Osage doesn't want, don't open the door for them to get rolling tonight. So the Indians of Osage need to get started early tonight, I think.
And it starts with the running game. We know this coming into the game, Chris. Osage runs the football 2 out of every 3 plays.
Yeah.
2/3 of their offensive snaps this season are run plays. So they want to get the game going through James Hutchcraft, their starting running back. He's got over 250 yards on the season. He's averaging about 6 yards a tote. Got to get him going. Yeah. Another guy you got to get going. It's your senior quarterback. This guy at Mr. Edwards, Drew Edwards, the senior, he comes in. He's really their leader. He was very involved as a sophomore, obviously very involved last year. You look at his numbers. He doesn't have a lot of passing attempts, only 42, but he's completed 24 of those, about 55%, Chris, for 335 yards. This is the important stat. 3 touchdowns to only 1 interception.
Right.
That 3-to-1 ratio I'll take every day, especially when you're a run-first team. He also runs the football well. He leads his team with 2 rushing touchdowns. And if he could throw the football into the flat to his receivers like Logan Havner and Matt Hans and get the offense going, it could open up the running game for James Hutchcraft, a.k.a. Hutch. You see there at center field, but those are really the 3 players, Chris, that Osage is going to have to rely very, very heavily on offense, because they're going to have to hang with this high-powered offense.
Yeah, they can't afford any turnovers like you were saying earlier, because, again, you cannot give this Hallsville team an opening, or they will take it. So Osage needs to get off to a quick start. They cannot turn the ball over. And McLaughlin's gotten some time at quarterback this year. Great arm for the sophomore. He's got a really nice future ahead of him. What we saw against Moberly a couple weeks ago is that he's still not reading the defense and seeing who's open. Sometimes he just throws to a spot, and sometimes that gets intercepted. He's had an interception problem. They can't afford that tonight.
Yeah, now, Chris, one big thing for the Osage Indians that you're going to have to look at is when you run the football, you have to finish, because we saw in that game against Moberly, they did not finish and play some costly fumbles. So you know they're going to run the football, and they're going to have to hold on to it. Another key in tonight's game, this game is a little more important than normal for Osage, Chris. This will be the 3rd out of the first 4 games for Osage at home.
Yeah.
It opens up a 3-game road trip next week. It doesn't get easy. You got Southern Boone. As a matter of fact, let's look at Osage's remaining schedule after tonight, Chris. They'll spend 4 of their last 5 weeks on the road. Their only home game against one of the best teams in the state, the Blair Oak Falcons, in week 8. But look at it right there. Next week at Booneville, then at Southern Boone, then at Versailles, who is going to be very eager to get rolling. They're 0-3. Nobody saw that coming before you come home to play Blair Oaks, one of the best teams in the state, at 3-0. And then you end another tough road game, that big rivalry at Eldon. So you look at the strength of Osage's schedule. schedule, tonight becomes that much more important, Chris.
Absolutely. I mean, and it's like we talked about earlier, this is one of those pivotal games early in the season because the winner of this game is going to have a leg up, especially with the tough competition coming up down the road. And with 3 straight games on the road, it's tough. I mean, in this conference, it's tough every week, and it's especially tough on the road.
That's right, and that is going to conclude tonight's Slumberland Furniture pregame show as we are set for football. Chris, that's going to conclude our pregame show, and Osage set to kick off, so they'll receive the second half kickoff here, and we are underway for the Indians. Colin Shilton will kick. Good kick. That's going to bounce inside, but it looked like it hit the hand of a Hallsville player, and I'm not sure, Chris, if that would still be a legal procedure. To no avail. It's going to be a penalty presented by Ozark Homes, and we've seen a lot of penalties here in the early going, Chris, through the first 3 weeks, not just at the high school level. Of course, we saw him talking about it last night in the NFL, and it seems like across any level of football, we've just seen more penalties through 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it's the penalties can be key because if you're on a drive, you have a big holding penalty, that shuts everything down. I mean, those penalties, especially in big games like this, you have to be really careful.
So at the quarterback position, Jake Ashburn, the senior, he can run well. He's only thrown 1 touchdown and 1 pick. The first carry, Cooper Crane, he's got some room across the 40. He'll be taken down from behind. First Indian there, big number 35 on the stop.
But you see the hole that he had to run through there on the left side. I mean, that was a quick 8 yards before Osage was there. They're going to have to be a little stiffer than that.
4 down linemen. You see the 3 linebackers split middle of your field with the strong safety, Chris. And look at the cushion here, bottom of your screen. Matt Hans on your receiver lined up here at the bottom. That's a big, about 8-yard cushion he's given.
Oh, yeah.
The give here, and tripped up for little to nothing is Cooper Crane, and James Hutchcraft there along with Drew Edwards on the stop.
Nice defense. The defense was there. Unlike that first play where there was a big hole to run through, small there, and a big 3rd down in the first drive coming up right here.
First 3rd down on this opening possession. This is a tough Hallsville team to stop in 3rd down in short situations. It's the read option, and quarterback Ashburn keeps it, and he's across midfield and up to the 47-yard line, and that's a really nice decision there by Ashburn, and not just a good decision, but he sold the fake handoff, Chris.
Yeah, pretty good defense on the handoff for Osage. The problem was the quarterback kept the ball and had a nice little hole to run through. That is the whole key to that read option is, the quarterback has to read what the defense is doing. He read it perfectly that time for the first down.
Ashburn now out of the shotgun. Quick into the flat. Nice throw to his intended target, who's rolled forward after Edwards makes the stop. Receiver there, Andrew Huddleston, the senior. Nice catch, and yards after the catch. He has 11 yards and a quick hard first down, Chris.
Very nice throw out there to the edge. There were actually 2 receivers there, and if he'd have thrown it to the closer receiver, that one would have been picked off. Osage had that covered, but he threw it to the right receiver, and it paid off for him.
Yeah, that was not an easy throw. You alluded to it, Chris. That was across the field with accuracy and with a little umph on the throw. So impressed what I've seen from Ashburn so far. Now into the flat, quick one, and nice play defensively coming up and making the stop. Jack Dooley, the senior. That's a 2-yard loss, and we have a shaken up Indian on the field. We'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back on Lake TV after this.
This Osage Indians live broadcast on Lake TV is brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, the Midmo Sports Network, Serdike Yamaha, Marcus Sikora State Farm, Hollylift Boat Lifts, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists, Ozark Homes, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Above and Beyond Roofing, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Columbia College Lake of the Ozarks, Big Surf Water Park, the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks, LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram, and Hedges Scott Funeral Homes.
Welcome back now as our injured Indian, Davis Salee, one of the D linemen. He's in the top 3 for sacks on the season for this Indians defense. He'll be spelled to take a break on the sideline. We'll try to keep you updated on that now. 2nd and 13 for Hallsville. They've got it at the 39-yard line. Ashburn, an option here. Outside, he's going to keep it. Good blocking. Looked like we could have had a hold, and Edwards going to come up and make the play on his opponent, his arch nemesis, the opposing quarterback. Edwards on Ashburn, going to bring up 3rd down and 8, and really nice job by Edwards because there was some good blocking downfield for the Indians. So nice job by Edwards to stop the opposing quarterback and limit the damage. 3rd down and 8 now.
Huge 3rd down. If Osage can get a stop, get the ball back, it will be a really good thing for this defense because Hallsville's used to having their way running the ball.
And Osage would love to set the tone here and an opportunity for their defense. 3rd down and 8. Ashburn takes the snap. Under pressure, throws into the flat and overshoots his intended target. He was looking outside once again for Andrew Huddleston. That falls incomplete. Now Escobar with the pressure on the quarterback, and the senior Rudy Escobar's had a nice season so far, Chris.
Really nice pressure on the quarterback. He had to get rid of the ball before he wanted to. The receiver wasn't looking for it yet, and great stop for Osage on that first drive.
Escobar comes in, the 2nd leading tackler for the Indians. He also has 2 sacks, and he applied that
looks like they're going to go
initial
for it.
pressure. So 4th down and 8 now for Hallsville. Ashburn in the pocket, steps up, and speaking of Escobar, takes down the Indians quarterback. And Osage takes over, 1st down and 10 at their own 39-yard line. And how ironic, we were talking about Escobar came in with 2 sacks. That's number 3, and none bigger on the season than that one right there, Chris.
I tell you what, the Osage defense did exactly what they had to do to start this game. They made a big statement. Hallsville did get a couple of 1st downs. You can see why they're so powerful on offense. They're big and they're strong, but Osage was up to the task, and after that 2nd 1st down they picked up, the Indians got a great stop, and now they start off with good field position.
Indeed they do, partner, and out of the shotgun, Drew Edwards. Into the flat looking for Havner. Nice throw. Havner makes a nice catch, and he'll be taken out across the 45, a 6-yard gain. And I like that first play call, Chris. Let's get Edwards some confidence. Let's complete an early, quick hitter and allow your receiver to make a play. That brings up 2nd down and 4, and that's a huge 6 yards, Chris.
Great pass. I mean, he hit him in stride. The receiver didn't even have to stop, slow down at all. Nice pickup.
Havner wide open up front now. Quarterback keeper here for Edwards rolls forward. He's into Hallsville territory down to the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. Will give him 7 yards and an Indian 1st down presented by Quick Car. And so Indians really a nice start to this game, Chris. They get the 4th down stop on the Escobar sack, and their offense now with a couple of positive plays into Hallsville territory, and with 8:10 remaining here in our 1st quarter, the Indians with the football. 1st down and 10 now. Edwards to James Hutchcraft, nothing doing as first man there, Trenton Hobbs, the sophomore linebacker for Hallsville, stops him after a modest gain of 2.
Some tough yards right up the middle for Hutch there, but positive yardage. They pick up a couple of yards. Now they're on the other side of the field. They're on Hallsville's side, and good work so far for the Osage Indians.
Edwards in trouble, and he'll be swallowed up. Nothing doing. He tried to keep it in there for the stop. Hallsville, number 45, Braden Stinger with the stop, going to bring up 3rd down and 9.
Big play here for the Osage Indians. It's a long 3rd down, a key 3rd down if they want to keep this drive going, not give the ball back to Hallsville.
So Edwards out of the gun. Takes the snap, Into the flat looking for Hans and overshoots his intended target. Really, that wasn't going to transpire into much anyway, even if he had caught that pass. Good coverage by Hallsville. And now the Osage punting unit comes in. I think that's the right move here, an opportunity to reverse field and back Hallsville up deep in their own end.
Absolutely. You want to try to pin them back, put them in some bad field position, and try to keep things on this side of the field for Osage as far away from your end zone as possible.
So Edwards into punt. He's actually improved upon his punting the last couple weeks. He comes in averaging just at 29 yards per punt, and that's another good one at the 15-yard line. And nice coverage there after about a 6-yard return. The first guy there for the Indians is Emmett Carlos, the senior, with the return, and Hutchcraft with the stop. Now vote on November 5th for an increase in the Tri-County Lodging Association tax for the development of a destination tournament soccer complex. This means no tax increase for local residents, $75 million an annual increase in visitor spending. It'll create new jobs and extend employment in the lake area with more family visits in the spring and fall when we need it most. To find out more, you can attend the next public forum from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 1st at the Exchange venue in Camdenton. This message has been paid for by the citizens for the promotion of sports tourism at Lake of the Ozarks. Now, Chris, as we look at Osage's first offensive possession, they did get the first down, not a whole lot else, but that is a quality possession because you get the ball, you reverse field, and now your defense, they got a little bit of rest, and they'll come back out and see what they can't do here as Hallsville drove the ball but unable to capitalize on the fourth down stop. So what do you think after seeing both teams with the ball one time so far?
Well, Hallsville got a couple of first downs, and then they went for it on fourth down, couldn't get it. So the Osage comes back with one first down, but the good punt. They win the field position battle after that first drive.
Outside, and here goes Mason Husky. Talked about the week he had a week ago, 5 carries, nearly 200 yards, up to the 37, a 15-yard gain, another quick car first down, Chris, and just like that, Husky shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why Hallsville is so dangerous with that run game. They're strong, the line is powerful, but the runners are fast and quick in there, and that was a big first pickup.
Well, it creates quite the predicament when you have two guys that are that powerful and can run the football. You can't zero in on either one of them, Chris.
That's right. I mean, it's double danger on both sides. Eldon found out last week, 5 carries for 195 yards for just one of their running backs is pretty amazing.
So we'll take a short commercial break as Hallsville burns the timeout. We are scoreless with 6:22 left in our opening quarter of play. You're watching exclusive coverage of Osage Indians football on Lake TV.
Your vehicle, it's part of who you are. It's your partner in weekday traffic and your passport to weekend fun. It's your sometimes office and your all-the-time concert hall. For all your vehicle is to you, isn't it time you did something for it too? Check out the Quick Car Monthly Unlimited Wash Club. For only $25 a month, wash your car as often as you want. You'll enjoy significant savings. Join the Wash Club today. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time.
And we're back now after the Hallsville timeout. Their second series, Sutter to their own 22-yard line, 1 carry to Husky. He has a solid gain and a first down now as Hallsville with the ball. We talked about it, Chris. They don't throw the football a ton, but what we've seen from this quarterback so far, Ashcroft, I think they should throw the football.
I tell you, he definitely has the ability to throw it, no doubt about that.
Jake Ashburn, the Hallsville quarterback. The first down carry to Mason Husky. He has about 4 yards, bring up second down and 6. And so far, Chris, it seems like the Indians' defensive game plan has done a nice job finding the ball carrier. Only seen one big run thus far, although early, but Osage has to be encouraged what they've seen from their defense so far.
Yeah, but they can't be giving up these 4, 5 yard, 6 yard runs. They've got to do a little better than that if they're going to stop them.
Quick hit to the outside, and really nice job by Luke Funderburk, the senior defensive back. Johnny on the spot. Very, very limited gain on second down to Emmett Carlos. Brings up third down and a long 3, Chris.
Great hit. I mean, no yards after the catch. He was stopped right there. So it brings up this big third down here. Osage needs to get a stop, get him off the field. And the question is, you know, Hallsville, how confident are they in that run game? Would they go for it on fourth down?
We haven't seen them backed up in their own end. They did go for it from inside the 40. Osage defense there trips up Husky short of the yard to gain. So coming in from a secondary position once again, Jack Dooley with a nice hit. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 1. So in the early going, Chris, Hallsville just 1 of 3 on third downs, and they're 0 for 1 on 4th down just far, and we're going to see a 4th down and 1 here.
So this is a gamble. If Hallsville goes for this, they've got a 4th and 1. They're used to having their way and being able to pick up at, you know, minimum of this 1 yard that they need here. But if Osage can stop them, they get the ball on Hallsville's side.
4th down and 1, trying to get outside is Husky, and he is just across the 42, the initial spot. Looks like he has the first down, Chris. We'll wait for an official measurement, but on second effort, I believe he has it, and he does. It's a first down by Quick Carr as Mason Husky lowered the shoulders, extended his drive, and had just enough for the first down.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a gamble for Hallsville, but it shows you how confident they are in their ability to pick up some yards on the ground. That was actually good defense from Osage. Almost got him stopped.
Very close here with 4:08 left in the first quarter. Play action. Ashburn steps up in the pocket. Blown coverage. It's a fluttering ball. Come back, and the catch is made for a big-time gain all the way down to the 9-yard line. Chris, that's good for 44 yards, and that's number 21, Emmett Carlos, the senior. That's a fluttering ball. He made the double move, burned the corner, underthrown, but comes back, makes the play, puts on the burner. 44 yards later, he is inside.
I tell you what, you know, when you run the ball so well like that, it opens up the passing game for you, and especially when you do a double move wide open, even with that dead duck pass that was thrown up there.
Here's the give now to Husky inside the 5, and he's tripped down at the 1. We do have a flag now. We'll look at this flag as a hold call against Hallsville. Not too many flags presented by Ozark Homes and Laurie yet, as Hallsville, they have our first trip inside the Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone, but that holding call is going to back them up. It'll be first down and goal from about the 19-yard line.
Huge penalty because Hallsville had it down on the 1-yard line. It was a pretty good run other than the penalty. Penalty brings it back, and we talked about it before the game. You know, turnovers are important, but so are those penalties because it can stop down a drive like this. Otherwise, they would have had it on the 1.
So first down and goal now from the 19-yard line. Hallsville comes out with 3 wide receivers. Ashburn now the inside give to Husky. He lowers his head inside the 15 down to the 13. He has 6 yards. That'll bring up second down and goal from the 13-yard line.
Boy, he had a huge hole to run through right up the middle. You got to give Hallsville that offensive line credit because they sure opened up a runway there for him.
So 3 minutes to go here in our first. Now, after our next commercial break, don't go anywhere, folks. We do have a special guest. Brady Coran will make an appearance here, our special guest commentator here after our next commercial break. But first, it's Hallsville, second down and 13. We're a goal from the 13, and that one, actually the read option, that fooled me as Ashburn keeps it all the way inside the 5 down to the 3-yard line. That's a great play.
Great read option. It's the second time here in this first quarter they've run that play, and the second time he made the perfect decision with the ball, keeping it and running it. Pretty good defense from Osage on the handoff, but not on the quarterback. They're going to have to figure out how to stop that when the quarterback keeps it, as he's done twice in this first quarter.
So third down and goal now from the 3. Ashburn the hand to Husky. Inside the 5, touchdown. Hallsville with 2:02. Mason Husky from 3 yards out. That's his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and that puts Hallsville up 6-0.
Yeah, good blocking on the right side of the line. Very similar to the run he had earlier, but the penalty play. This time, no penalty. He gets in the end zone, and it's the Indians of Hallsville off to the quick lead.
And it'll look like they'll attempt the 2-point conversion. Cooper Crane, no, actually, Ashburn keeps it himself on the option, and he scampers into the end zone, and that is a successful 2-point conversion. So with 2:02 to go, Hallsville strikes first. They lead Osage 8-0. We'll be back on Lake TV after this.
This is your Lake Area State Farm agent, Marcus Sikora, and I would love to be the one you trust for your insurance needs.
Lake of the Ozarks is the boating capital in Missouri. Did you know that your prop is the most important part of your boat? With 27 years of propeller repair at Lake of the Ozarks, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, is the choice for you. The most advanced in propeller repair and scanning, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, can help you boat smarter, go farther, and last longer on beautiful Lake of the Ozarks. Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist. Go with the best or stay on shore with the rest.
And we are back here in Osage Beach, where the School of the Indians down 8-0 here for their annual homecoming game at the hands of Hallsville. And now joined by special guest Brady Coran. And Brady, your 3rd year in a row now, you've gotten to come in. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. It's pretty cool being out here.
All right, so Hallsville now set to kick. It's Stinger set to kick. Brady, take it away.
So here we go. It's going to be a kick off to the 30, and he's going to be taken down after about 4-yard gain.
Up to the 34 now. Brady, your mother tells me, you're going to play a lot of Madden and you prefer to mute the game and broadcast opposed to listen to the...
Of course.
I did that.
I turned them off.
Turn them off and you call the game. So Osage here, big possession here, Brady. They're down 8-0 now. We'll see if their their quarterback Drew Edwards can get something going.
Drew Edwards has been very nice this season. I also like their JV. Have you watched any of their JV games?
Haven't caught much of the JV. I know they had
Connor Vaughn, he is very nice. He's going to be good in the future.
So first down carry now. Little doing first guy there for Hallsville, number 30.
Trent Hobbs.
The sophomore with the stop and no gain. So second down now, and you look at Osage and Drew Edwards, their quarterback. We've also seen Brockton McLaughlin a little bit. The sophomore, and he's the one that can really air it out.
Oh, yeah. Brockton's got a really good arm.
So second down and 10 now.
Osage with the snap is going to be a fake, and it's going to be caught.
Matt Hans with the carry, and that's a dangerous throw, but a really nice completion. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 6 now here with 1:20 to go, Brady, and that's a nice play.
That was a very nice play.
So 3rd down and 6 now. Osage thus far 0 for 1 on 3rd down, and they really need to find a way to convert here.
So ball on the 38 here. 6 yards to go till the Osage first down.
Edwards out of the shotgun. You imagine we'll get to see him throw the football here, but let's not forget Edwards can run it as well.
Oh, yeah, Edwards got some speed on him. And it's going to be a pass. It's going to be incomplete as attempt was to
Matt Hans, the intended target, and he likes Hans. He also likes Havner, but that's going to bring up 4th down and 6 now, and probably a punt situation here for the Indians.
Oh, yeah.
So Brady, now what grade are you in here in Osage?
I'm in 8th right now.
So are you playing football this year?
Yeah, I'm playing football this year.
Then what position do you play?
I play free safety and wide receiver.
And so have you had a pretty solid season?
No. Start of the season hasn't been great, but I've kind of flipped a bunch of positions so far.
Well, I appreciate your honesty now as Edwards, a short punt, and that takes a Hallsville bouncing finally down at about the 45, but first touched at the 47. So, Brady, hey, man, we certainly appreciate you coming by. Good luck with the rest of your football season, and we will look forward to bringing you up again next year. Before in a few seasons, you'll probably be doing this full time with me, right?
Hope so.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to before you go?
Not really.
Not even Mom?
Oh, Mom. Of course, Mom and Grandma, obviously.
Mom and Grandma, obviously. All right, everyone, that is Brady Coran, 8th grader here at School of the Osage, and the next, Bob Costas Brady. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, buddy.
It's been awesome.
All right, so a minute 06 as Chris will come back to finish the call with me tonight. And 8-0 now. Brady an opportunity to call the game. He likes to come up once a year, and he has aspirations of broadcasting in the future here at Lake TV. As a quick hitter for Hallsville, and that's going to be a gain of 5 as number 14, Davis Forge, the senior, the fullback. That's a quick one, just 5 yards, going to bring up second down as we're inside a minute to play. So, Chris, welcome back as Osage. Not a lot doing there on that offensive possession.
No, they got shut down pretty good there, and Hallsville needs to be stopped here. If you're Osage, you do not want to let them get up by 2 touchdowns here toward the end of the first quarter. Osage has hung in this one pretty good in the first quarter. They don't want to let it get away from them here.
So Hallsville now after the first down, presented by Quick Car on the run from Crane into the flat, very nearly deflected. A little wide receiver, quick pass, and that is a big gain. We'll give him 17 yards down to the 15-yard line. And once again, that's Emmett Carlos having a huge first quarter. And now the Hallsville Indians inside the Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone. It's 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Here's the option play as quarterback inside the 10-yard line down to the 6. And I'll tell you what, Hallsville's starting to rack up those big plays, Chris.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it in the pregame show. You don't want to let this Hallsville team get on a roll because they can start to steamroll you. And as the time runs out in this first quarter, they're starting to find their stride, and Osage is on their heels.
So after 1 quarter of play, Hallsville 8, Osage 0, but Hallsville knocking on the door. They'll have it 1st and goal from the 5-yard line when we start the second quarter after this on Lake TV.
Hi, I'm Tyler Loftus with Ozarks Homes. If you're in the market for a new home, or you may be considering building, I encourage you to look into custom-built modular homes. Our modular homes are built, financed, and insured like a regular house. We invite you to visit our display lot right on Highway 5 in Laurie at Lake of the Ozarks. Each home we have on display shows different features from kitchen layouts, floor plans, bathroom options, and much more. We can customize floor plans based off what you, the customer, are wanting. Ozark Homes, family-owned, operated, and making homeowners' dreams come true for over 30 years.
And we are back. You see a beautiful skyline here in Kaiser, Missouri. The Osage Beach Water Tower, actually Lake Ozark Water Tower, just beautiful, Chris, off in the distance here.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a beautiful night for football. Hey, be sure to vote November 5th for an increase in the Tri-County Lodging Association tax for the development of a destination tournament soccer complex. No tax increase for local residents. $75 million annual increase in visitor spending. It'll create new jobs and extend employment. More family visitation in the spring and the fall. And if you want to find out more, attend the next public forum, 6 to 8 p.m. It's on Tuesday, October 1st at the Exchange in Camdenton. And this message has been paid for by the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks.
All right, so 1st and goal now. Cooper Crane, the carry to the house from 5 yards out at Hallsville, up 16-0 now. That's number 6 for Crane. He came into the game, Chris, with 3 fumbles on the season, a bit of a concern for him and his head coach, but here in the early going, he looks very sure-handed, taking that one from 5 yards out, and just like that, Hallsville already up 14-0.
Yeah, I tell you what, this Hallsville Indian team, once they get on a roll, they're tough to stop, and Osage, when they get the ball back, they really need to do something, or they're going to find themselves out of this one pretty quickly.
So both Mason Husky and Cooper Crane both with touchdown runs here in the early going. Ashburn with the carry on the read option. He'll keep it himself. Scampers into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good. And just like that, Hallsville 16, Osage 0. We'll be back on Lake TV after this.
Make your fantasy a reality this season at Big Surf Water Park. Rocket yourself down Zambezi Falls. Enjoy a relaxing ride down the Lazy River. Or grab a tube and head down our Whitewater Rapids. You're sure to find fun for the whole family this summer right at the Lake of the Ozarks.
It's a vacation within a vacation. Big Surf.
Get your tickets now at BigSurfWaterPark.com.
And we are back here on Lake TV where the Hallsville Indians, Chris, we knew they were capable of making big plays, and just like that, Osage did a nice job of holding them on their first offensive possession, but that was it. Their last two, they had their way with this Osage defense, and it's early, but Indians, that being the Osage Indians, they need to do something here. Short kick, bounce, that takes a dangerous hop. Matt Hans made a nice play for the Indians, and actually that's number 80, Michael Lassiter, made a really nice play. Otherwise, that would have been Hallsville football.
Yeah, that's a live ball on the kickoff there, and again, just kind of goes to show you how well coached this Hallsville team is, where they can pooch it like that, and that they had a player right there that if Osage didn't make a good play on that, Hallsville would have had it back. So now the Indians get it back. They've got pretty good field position. They have to do something with the ball here. I mean, at least get a couple of first downs, give their defense a little bit of a rest, but obviously you need to start getting on the scoreboard.
So Drew Edwards under center. Handoff goes to James Hutchcraft, who keeps the legs moving for about 3 yards on first down.
I tell you, tough double duty for Hutch in every game, but certainly in this game, when you're going on defense and on offense, it can wear you out a little bit, especially on defense when you're trying to stop big, powerful run team.
Second down and 7 now, 11:30 left here in the second quarter. And Osage now, Chris, it is still early, but I think this possession here is vitally crucial for them.
It's pretty important. So far, Osage with just one first down. They need to start being able to pick up the first downs, move the change. Great run there.
James Hutchcraft with a 7-yard carry, and it was all after contact. He was met at the line of scrimmage by Cooper Crane, second leading tackler for this Hallsville team, but he kept those legs churning. 7 yards and a big first down presented by Quick Car. That was big, Chris.
Yeah, I tell you, Hutch shows you how much work he's been doing in the weight room with a run like that. He just powered through it, stayed on his feet, picked up a big first down. Just the second first down of the game for Osage, as opposed to Hallsville already has unofficially 7 first downs. So the Osage Indians need to keep the ball, try to control it, pick up a few more first downs, grind it out, try to get in the end zone.
First down and 10 now. Edwards pump fake, looking deep for Havner, has his man, and Logan Havner pulls it in down at the 28-yard line. They'll spot him out of the 29, but that's a 25-yard throw. Beautiful pass and great job by Logan Havner to pull it in.
What a great catch that was, because he was actually defended pretty well. It was a great pass right on the mark, and contested catch, just nice all the way around from Osage down to the 29, and they're in business now.
So first down and 10 at the 29-yard line, and how about Osage with an answer? They've got to come away with points here, Chris. Not going to help. That is a penalty flag brought to you by Ozark Homes and Laurie, Ozark manufactured homes. So that's going to back them up 5, but nothing hurt, right?
Yeah, well, they still in first down, so they've got the full number of downs to try to get the yards, but they're going to have to pick up 5 extra ones now and go 15 yards. Makes it tougher, especially when you're down here on this side of the field and getting closer to the end zone. There's less for the defense to try and cover. But Osage, you're right. I think Osage definitely needs to come away with some points in this one with, 10:32 to go in the first half.
So first down at 15 now. Edwards under center. Keeps it, and he goes nowhere. He's met in the backfield by big number 40 for Braden Stinger with the stop, and no siree.
Yeah, they lost a little bit on that one. Obviously, can't afford to be going in the wrong direction. The good news is that so far in this game, Osage has shown the ability to throw the ball and pick up some chunk yards. They'll need some chunk yards to get a first down here.
Yeah, we've seen some impressive completions here in the early going from Drew Edwards, and he's going to need to utilize Logan Havner here, bottom of your screen. He's got a 12-yard cushion, and we'll see if they can't capitalize on this. Quick slant here, nice play. Back up to the 30, down to about the 29-yard line, back to that initial line of scrimmage as Lassiter pulls it in. Going to bring up a big 3rd down and 10 now.
Nice timing throw there. A slant coming in from the left side. It was right on the money from Edwards. Nice catch. So they pick up about half of the yards they need for a first down. They still got a ways to go, though. And sitting at the 30, this is probably still going to be out of field goal range. So if they don't pick up the first down on this play, they want to get close enough either to attempt a field goal or, enough to get close enough to go for 4th.
Here we go now on 3rd and 10. Under pressure, looking for Hans as Edwards was gang rushed, taken down after the pass. Falls incomplete, going to bring up 4th down and 10, and I think Osage probably going to go for it here. You don't gain a lot by punting.
Yeah, well, that's a tough decision if you've got a great punter that can try to, stick it out of bounds inside the 10 or the 5, then maybe you think about doing that. Otherwise, you're right. Where you're sitting the ball at the 29, you're not going to gain usually a whole lot with a punt. So going for it on 4th and long, more than likely the best choice.
9 minutes to go here, and folks, don't forget our halftime show tonight, the Midmo Sports Network halftime show. We are going to have an Osage timeout. So, folks, we'll take a commercial break, but let's not forget our entire homecoming coronation ceremony will be broadcast live tonight during our halftime show. Thanks to the generous support from Above and Beyond Roofing. You won't want to miss that. We'll be right back on Lake TV after this.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve with home and auto insurance.
This is your Lake Area State Farm agent, Marcus Sikora, and I would love to be the one you trust for your insurance needs.
It's back, finally, Slumberland's clearance event. Our first clearance event in 3 years. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, discontinued and one-of-a-kind items. Crazy low prices like beds as low as $199, sofas as low as $298, recliners as low as $198. Hey, did you know most Slumberland items can be in your home in a week? Hurry into our first clearance event in 3 years. In store at all Slumberland locations.
Welcome back, folks, and a big-time 4th down and 10 for Osage, Chris, inside the 30. Let's see if they can't do the improbable here.
Yeah, they really need a first down here.
Play action, little option pass, throwing it deep for Havner, looking and incomplete. Hesitated a little bit. That was there momentarily, but really nice job by the secondary, including Emmett Carlos for Hallsville. Going to bring up 4th down now. Sorry, that's going to be a turnover on downs rather. And Hallsville, a big-time stop, gives it back to their offense, already leading 16-0, Chris.
Yeah, so really the turnovers in this game have been on 4th down tries, one for each team. Osage coming up short there. Hallsville gets it back on their own 29. They're up 16-0. Osage cannot afford to let them go down the field and score again here.
Empty backfield for Jake Ashburn, the quarterback for Hallsville. He's looked really sharp so far. 5 wide receivers. Ball's the 29 now in motion. That's Mason Husky, and that's going to be blown up, and once again,
nice.
In the backfield, that's big Rudy Escobar.
In the first quarter, we saw that play, the read option, go for big yardage twice for Hallsville. Coach John Stiles obviously took his defense aside, talked about that, got that play figured out. Great defense, a nice 5-yard loss.
2nd down and 15, and an opportunity here for the Osage Indians defense to push Hallsville back and get the football back. Husky, here's the give, and he'll be taken down from behind. Gang tackled by about 3. First man there for the Indians. That's Matt McCubbin, the senior, and that is good for a short one. Going to bring up 3rd down and 14, and the Indians' defense looks good so far.
Yeah, Osage on the first 2 plays of this drive have not only been up for the challenge, they have made more than enough with 2 big tackles now, big 3rd down, and again, Osage really needs to come up with a stop here.
39-yard line, the yard to gain on 3rd and 14. Ball spotted at the 25. Emmett Carlos in motion. Here's Ashburn, now rolls to his right, throws, has his man, and that's Carlos for a big-time gain. First down all the way up to about the 41-yard line. That's a 16-yard gain and a first down.
Hallsville came in here being a power run team. They found out tonight against this Osage defense they can't run at will, so they've opened up the passing game, and we've seen 2-3 big passing plays from this Hallsville team. Their quarterback, he's a good thrower as well.
Read option, nice job by quarterback Ashburn to keep it. He's got some room, look out, taken down to the 42-yard line. Taken down on the play by Jack Dooley, but he has it all the way down to the 42-yard line. We'll give him 17 yards and another first down presented by Quick Car.
So once again, Hallsville on the move. They're picking up big chunk yardage. They had that big 3rd down conversion, and now they're rolling inside Osage territory. And with less than 7.5 to go in the first half, the Osage Indians defense needed to come up and get a turnover, get some kind of a stop here.
So first down and 10, balls at the 42-yard line. They love this option play. Here's Ashburn, he'll pitch it out. That's Mason Husky, and a little extracurricular, definitely gonna be a personal foul on the late hit, and the Indian on the late hit on that one.
Yeah.
Connor Kender with the personal foul, and really you can't afford to do that, Chris.
No, that's the last thing you can afford if you're Osage, giving them some free yardage.
It was a modest gain of 7, too.
Yeah, it was a decent gain, decent stop, but you can't afford to just be giving away those extra yards like that to a team as good as this Hallsville team.
And that's just it. When you look at a game like we've got tonight, and you know, on paper, Hallsville has more athletes. They have the bigger time playmakers than Osage, and we talked about it. If Osage is going to be able to keep themselves in this game, can't have turnovers, you can't have penalties. Those penalties, they'll cost you, Chris.
Yeah, especially those big ones like that.
First down and 10 now. Hallsville just outside the Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone. 7:07 left as the sun has officially went completely down. You see the colors in the distance, Chris. That is beautiful. Ashburn, little play action. He's looking for the end zone, wide open, corner of the end zone, and unable to make the adjustment, but that was a really nice throw by Ashburn.
I tell you what, a pretty good design play, too. They a little trickery, faking the pitch and taking the throw down in the corner of the end zone. He was open down there, so just the Osage coming away a little lucky to not have a score go against him on that one.
So second down and 10 now, and the wind starting to pick up a little bit. But Chris, I thought on that play, that was a beautifully thrown ball.
I tell you, this quarterback for Hallsville, he can do it all. He can run. He's very good faking the handoff on that option play, and he's got a good arm too.
Here goes Ashburn once again. He's going to pitch it back. Nice pitch. Nice play defensively. Once again, that is number 13, Jack Dooley. That's his 5th tackle already.
I'd like to thank some of our sponsors, Ozark Homes, Big Surf Water Park, Columbia College, Lake of the Ozarks campus, Hedges Scott Funeral Home, LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram.
Also the Missouri State High School Activities Association. And we have more sponsors, but first, 3rd down and 6 now. Ashburn throws across his body, deflected and caught. Edwards had a hand on it, but falls into the arms of number 14, Davis Forge, and a big first down to the 2-yard line. Chris, that's good for 15 yards.
Oh, man, I tell you, it's a game of inches sometimes. That just as easily could have been an interception with Osage having the ball and out of trouble. And as it is, it's Hallsville knocking on the door again.
So inside the Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone. Hallsville first and goal from the 3. The give to Husky, no siree, in the backfield. That's number 85, Matthew McCubbin, the senior.
Nice play, great stop, good penetration in there, able to make the tackle and keep Osage alive down here.
Hallsville now 3 of 5 on third down conversions. They've got it second and goal from the 6. Play clock down to 12 as Ashburn gets the call from the sideline. Watch Ashburn on the quarterback keeper. He may call his own number. Emmett Carlos on the shuffle pass. Runs into a brick wall, and that again is Jack Dooley, tackle number 6. Second for a loss, and Dooley a really nice play defensively to control the perimeter. That's going to bring up third down and goal for about the 8.
Dooley's having a great game so far. His name has come up several times, and the second straight tackle for a loss inside the 10-yard line. Great stand for the Osage defense. Up to now, Hallsville came up with a big third down conversion earlier in this drive. Osage needs to come up with a stop.
Osage crowd starting to make a little noise. They really need to stop here if they want to try to stay within striking distance. Already down 2 scores. Inside give to Husky. McCubbin, first man there. No, sir. He also in on the play. James Hutchcraft. Fourth down and goal from the 7. Nice stand for the Osage defense.
So it'll be interesting to see what Hallsville decides to do here. They've been going for the 2-point conversions. They're extremely confident in their ability to move the ball. So will they go for it for fourth down here, or are they going to go for a field goal?
We will wait and see, but for a moment we'll stay right with you. And actually, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be right back on Lake TV after this.
This Osage Indians live broadcast on Lake TV is brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, the Midmo Sports Network, Serdike Yamaha, Marcus Sikora State Farm, Hollylift Boat Lifts, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists, Ozark Homes, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Above and Beyond Roofing, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Columbia College Lake of the Ozarks, Big Surf Water Park, the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks, LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram, and Hedges Scott Funeral Homes.
Back here on Lake TV, I'm William Holtz, joined by my good man, the legendary Chris Schneider. And Chris, not a good day for some of us Missouri sports fans that like the Cubs. If you're a Cardinal fan, it was a great day. But for the few of us Missouri Cub fans, a rough day on the diamond.
Yeah, I tell you, that was one ugly, long game this afternoon. It took 4 hours to get in, and both teams had chances to win it. And it just kind of was the Cardinals out ugly and the Cubs in that one for a 2-1 win. But I think that almost, not officially, but it almost eliminates the Cubs from the division race.
Well, they still do have 5 against the Cardinals, so. But
still hanging on to that hope.
4th and 7 now. Here is Ashburn now across his body into the end zone, looking for Cooper Crane, and he has him. Touchdown on 4th and 7. They are just too much.
I tell you what, they can do it all. Obviously, they can run the ball. They're a power run team, but a nice pass play in the end zone. He was open, nice pass, touchdown, and Hallsville's rolling. We talked about it in the pregame show. You can't let this team get ahead of steam up, or they will just steamroll you, and they've been doing that in the second quarter.
So on the 2-point conversion attempt, Jake Ashburn takes the snap. He's going to keep it, and that is too easy on that read option. You put the offensive line to the left. Pretty nifty play calling, and with 5 minutes to go in the first half, it's Hallsville 24, Osage 0. We'll be back on Lake TV after this.
Hi,
Hi, this is Kendall Surdike, and at Surdike Yamaha, we have been selling and serving the Ozarks for almost 50 years. We've learned during that time that our customers expect the best in their Yamahas, with same-day service and even courtesy loaner units. That is why at Surdike Yamaha, you receive 1 year of free scheduled maintenance with every new and used recreational Yamaha bought. You can have more fun with your Yamaha boats and wave runners that are assembled right here in the USA and won't have to worry about maintenance costs for the first year because it is on us.
And we are back. Chris Schneider and I'm William Holtz here in the broadcast booth from School of the Osage. Chris, week 4, and next week we'll be into Riley Field at California, Missouri. You'll take your first trip to Cali, where we'll have another Tri-County Conference matchup. The winless Versailles Tigers, they'll play the winless California Pintos. Both teams have tough opponents tonight. Could be looking at 2 teams looking to get their first win of the season. Here's the up man with the return across the 30, and Osage starts this series 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line.
Yeah, and so far, offensively, it's pretty much been all Hallsville. Osage, the Indians have 3 first downs with less than 5 minutes to go in the first half. Hallsville unofficially with 11 first downs. Wow. One of those coming by penalty, but that just kind of shows you how much Hallsville has dominated this game with their control of the ball on offense.
Yeah, and you look at the new regime in Hallsville. Yeah. Coach Justin Conyers, he took some of his battle coaches, came with him to Hallsville. It's just a 20-minute journey from Hallsville to Columbia where battle sits, so not real far. As Havner with the quick hitter, and he'll be taken down as first man there. Number 14 for Hallsville, that's Davis Forge once again.
You know, it's interesting when we did the Osage-Moberly game a couple of weeks ago, Osage kind of sleptwalked through the first 3 quarters. They woke up in the 4th quarter and kind of made an interesting game of it. They actually had a shot in that one. They've kind of gotten off to the slow start here. And with this Hallsville team being as powerful as they are, they're already down by 24, so the Indians' offense really needs to come alive. They need to find some ways to move the ball.
2nd down and 4 now. Edwards, Hutchcraft, the up man, lowers his shoulders, keeps the legs churning across the 40. We'll give him 2, maybe 2.5, and personal foul, some extracurricular activity, some kicking going on, and some obscenities here and there and everywhere, and the emotions get going. Chris, got to keep your cool in these situations.
Yeah, it's tough. Let's see what the call is here. So it's against Hallsville, so that's a great break for the Osage Indians. They were going to have a 3rd and about 1, and now with this penalty, it'll be they'll pick up the first down, be able to keep the ball with less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. Really is huge for Osage to maintain control of the ball here. Don't give it back to Hallsville to try and up that lead, but kind of keep control of it, keep your defense, give them a bit of a break.
You're right, that's a big penalty, moves the ball into Hallsville territory. That penalty presented by Ozark Holmes, going to bring up 1st down and 10. Ball at the 45-yard line of Hallsville. Drew Edwards out of the shotgun. Matt Hans in the backfield with him. Edwards, the quick pitch. Hans takes it, tries to get outside. Cooper Crane says no, sir, takes him down from his feet outside for a 1-yard loss. We do have a holding call against Osage. They may decline this penalty.
Yeah, it was good defense. It stopped him for no gain, basically, on the pitch. Good job from Halls. But the 10-yard penalty, it looks like they're going to back him up. It's going to be a 1st and 20 back at the Osage.
Maybe even further.
41. It is. It looks like a 15-yarder. Oh, where the holding took place was behind the line of scrimmage.
4 yards behind, so it's going to be a 14-yard penalty. Going to bring up 2nd down and 24, and just like that,
that's tough.
Really changes the complexion of this series for Osage, unless they find a way to get a big play here on 2nd down and 24. Edwards under center. He'll pass, rolls out, throws, looking for his man, and Hans just timed his jump. So did the defender, but not sure what happened, Chris. It looked like Just a misconnection there. And
yep, had a chance. I mean, you know, we get so used to seeing the college players and the pro players go up and make spectacular plays on those things. That would have been a tough catch to make. I think he could have made it, but unfortunately it goes through his hands, and they're still looking at a long second down here. And the clock is stopped, which doesn't help Osage any.
Second down and 24, Chris, with 3:17 to go. Edwards, up man looking for his man. Thunderberg, he's upended and taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Actually, Jack Dooley, I apologize, on the carry, and that goes for a loss of 1. 3rd down and 25 now.
Yeah, so they've got a 3rd down and forever. They showed on the 1st down pass that they've got the capability of going downfield and making a catch. They've had a long pass already in this game, but they're going to need to come up with something. Clock is running at 2:45 here in this first half, and you don't really want to give Hallsville the ball back with time to score another one.
This is 3rd down and 25. Osage 0 for 3 thus far on 3rd downs. Give it to the up man, nothing doing. Dooley with the carry, or was it Matt Hans? Limited gain on 3rd down and 25.
A little bit of a surprise that they would go so conservative on that play.
And Hallsville, they burned their second timeout. That'll leave them with 1. So at 2:27, Hallsville about to get the football back, already leading this game 24-0. We'll be right back on Lake TV after this.
Your vehicle, it's part of who you are. It's your partner in weekday traffic and your passport to weekend fun. It's your sometimes office and your all-the-time concert hall. For all your vehicle is to you, isn't it time you did something for it too? Check out the Quick Car Monthly Unlimited Wash Club. For only $25 a month, wash your car as often as you want. You'll enjoy significant savings. Join the Wash Club today. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time.
This is your Lake Area State Farm agent, Marcus Sikora, and I would love to be the one you trust for your insurance needs.
And we're back here on Lake TV, Chris, and this is an opportunity for Riley to get into one. He really needs to have a good punt here. It's Hallsville. They're looking to bury the Indians here in the first half.
Yep.
That's fielded at the 28, low line drive. Kick trying to get outside now. Good coverage here for the Indians, and nothing doing inside the 25-yard line. That was Emmett Carlos. May have tried to do a little too much, and now a personal foul after the play. Another personal foul presented by Ozark Holmes, and it's starting to get chippy, partner.
Yes, it is. It really is. This is, we'll see who this goes against, but the last one we saw helped out Osage. Ultimately didn't help them on the drive. They had to punt. But that was really good punt coverage from the Indians. On that, actually, Hallsville did a great job catching the punt in the air instead of letting it drop, and that could have pinned them down a little bit further. But it looks like this is going against Osage. Personal foul.
So another penalty against Osage. And Chris, after that incredible, emotional, instant classic win last week for Camdenton, they traveled to Central in Springfield tonight. May think an opportunity for a bit of a letdown after such an emotional win. Well, that won't be the case tonight. After 1 quarter of play, it's Camdenton leading 40-0.
After 1 quarter?
After 1 quarter of play.
I talked to Coach Jeff Shore over there this week, and he said, yeah, we're a little banged up, but I think we can handle them. Yeah,
40-0.
He was pretty confident, yeah.
Tell you what, that team right there, Chris, has an opportunity to be very, very special and go as far as we've ever seen any Camdenton team go. With 5 state championships in the program history, you start to ask, how can you go further, or at least as far? They'd have to win a state title, and this team has aspirations to do just that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a week like this, where you get an opponent that's really not very good, where you can rest some players up, get healthy again, that definitely helps too.
No doubt about it. So Hallsville now already up 24, looking deep, looking for his man, and he's got him hauled in inside the 20, down to the 10, for a touchdown from 60 yards out. Ryan Roberts, the junior, his first catch of the night, goes from 70 yards out to pay dirt. And Hallsville takes just one play to cover 75 yards, Chris, and they're up 30-0 with 2:04 left. This game getting out of hand here early.
Well, and if you think about it, Hallsville didn't score their first touchdown until late in the first quarter, so they pretty much done this all in just a little over one quarter. This team is very, very impressive. I think this Hallsville team is going to have a chance to do some damage in the state tournament.
Very true. As Ashburn again, same play, you know it's coming. No way to stop it for two, and Hallsville up 32-0. 2 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in our opening half. Don't forget, during tonight's Midmo Sports Network halftime show, we'll bring you the entire homecoming coronation ceremony presented by Above and Beyond Roofing. That and much more when we return on Lake TV.
Polylift boat lifts. Boaters everywhere have relied on Polylift boat lifts to raise their boat up and out of the water time and time again. Polylift boat lifts are made of the finest materials and offer a lifetime warranty on the tanks. Stop by Polylift and see the huge selection of wet steps, water toys, and dock accessories. You can even shop online at polylift.com. Polylift boat lifts. You know what they say.
We don't just build boat lifts, we build Polylifts.
And we are back in stinger kicks fielded by the Upmen at the 31-yard line and taken down at the 38-yard line. So actually pretty good starting field position for Osage here.
Yeah, and down 32 points with 1:58 to go in the first half. It'll be interesting to see what the Indians want to do here. Do the Indians try to just run out the clock, go in at halftime and regroup a little bit, or do you start taking some shots down the field? If you do that, you're taking the chance of stopping the clock and having to punt the ball back and give it back to this Hallsville team. So, but, you know, Devin Johnson, I mean, he knows, he's been around for a long time. He knows how to handle these situations. And but I think the Osage Indians are in a bit of shock right now.
Edwards now, he's going to roll to his left. Throws across his body, and that one is intercepted by Mason Husky at the 44-yard line. He came in this season with 2 interceptions, leading the team. That's number 3, and that's what you alluded to, partner. If they take some shots, could end up working against him. In this case, Hallsville up 32-0. They take over near midfield and an opportunity to deliver a nail into the coffin before we even reach halftime.
A worst case scenario there for Osage. I mean, if you take shots down the field, try to score, you know, you'll stop the clock with incomplete passes, but that's better than throwing the interception, just giving the ball right back to them. So Hallsville with it on their own 47 here.
Let's see Ashburn now out of the shotgun. Steps up, he's gonna air it out again. That one's intercepted by Jack Dooley. Takes it right back, and that's a case where a really nice play from Dooley coming from his safety spot. And first time tonight we've seen Ashburn maybe underthrow a football.
Yeah, absolutely. Great play. And boy, you keep bringing up his name. He's been playing all over the field for Osage tonight. Great interception there with 1:44 to go in this first half, saving some points there for the Osage Indians. And again, you go back to the same thing. What do you do if you're Coach Devin Johnson for Osage here? You're going to take your shots down the field. You're going to stop the clock. You're going to try to run out the clock. We'll see here, but I mean, you're down 32 points, so you might as well go for it.
I say pull out all the stops. Tries a little screen now to Dooley, and he's unable to haul that one in. Heard footsteps, falls incomplete, so second down and 10, but I like the variety of play calling. You got to start trying something different.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and as impressive as Hallsville has been on offense, they have been pretty good on defense tonight, too. I mean, they've slowed the Indians down to just 4 first downs in the first half. So they've been very strong. tough drop on that one. I mean, I don't think he would have picked up big yards, but he would have picked up a couple and he would have kept the clock running.
So 32-0, Chris, and we knew this one had an opportunity to be a big-time scoring game because we knew of Hallsville's offense, but their defense also has really given this Osage team fits in the early going.
So the clock is running with that run play, and I believe Hallsville has one more timeout left. They're choosing not to take it, so clock is running.
So a minute 14 left here in the opening half, and Chris, something for Osage fans to look forward to is homecoming.
Yeah.
Tonight you'll have your coronation ceremony during our halftime show, and we'll actually bring you that entire broadcast for that ceremony presented by Above and Beyond Roofing. You don't want to miss that, as Hutchcraft up the middle on third down and nothing doing. And Chris, so far tonight, Osage is 0 for 5 on third down.
Yeah, that's not good. You're not going to win many games when you're 0 for 5 on third down. You got to pick up those, especially when you're playing a powerhouse run team like Hallsville. I mean, Hallsville has showed in this first half, especially in this second quarter, where they've scored, 3 touchdowns in this second quarter, how powerful they can be. You got to pick up third downs when you're Osage.
Edwards now will punt. There's about a 12-second difference between the game clock and the play clock, and a really nice punt there by Edwards. That has a chance to roll, and it will. So with about 5 seconds left, that's down to the 30-yard line. That goes for 44 yards, and that's the longest punt of the season for Drew Edwards, and that's going to assure that Hallsville really isn't able to do anything with 4.2 seconds left. I imagine Coach Conyers probably pretty satisfied, up 4+ scores.
Yeah.
We're happy to go into the break with that lead.
So Hallsville was 3-7 last year, right? They struggled. They had their struggles. You can see what a difference a coach like Justin Conyers makes when he comes in here, starts turning the program around. He won a state title at Battle, and he comes into Hallsville, and the whole culture has changed overnight there.
And not just did he win a state title, in their first year of eligibility, they won a state title, and actually they upset Camdenton in the district championship game that season, a game we had on Lake TV. As Husky now, he has aspirations for a big gain all the way up to midfield. 20-yard run for Mason Husky to conclude our first half. And ladies and gentlemen, with 2 quarters in the books, it's all Hallsville. On the eve of Camdenton's annual homecoming game, it's Hallsville 32, Osage 0. Your Mid-Mo Sports Network halftime show, including the Osage homecoming coronation ceremony presented by Above and Beyond Roofing, is up next. Don't go anywhere.
Lake of the Ozarks is the boating capital in Missouri. Did you know that your prop is the most important part of your boat? With 27 years of propeller repair at Lake of the Ozarks, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, is the choice for you. The most advanced in propeller repair and scanning, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, can help you boat smarter, go farther, and last longer on beautiful Lake of the Ozarks. Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist. Go with the best or stay on shore with the rest.
Hi, I'm Tyler Loftus with Ozark Homes. If you're in the market for a new home, or you may be considering building, I encourage you to look into custom-built modular homes. Our modular homes are built, financed, and insured like a regular house. We invite you to visit our display lot right on Highway 5 in Laurie at Lake of the Ozarks. Each home we have on display shows different features from kitchen layouts, floor plans, bathroom options, and much more. We can customize floor plans based off what you, the customer, are wanting. Ozark Homes, family-owned, operated, and making homeowners' dreams come true for over 30 years.
our contestants competed in the strengths competition. Wednesday evening was also the annual powder puff ball game with the seniors reigning victorious. Thursday was Make Peace Not War with students dressing up in their best hippie clothing, and then Ben and Mr. Osage sporting their best beauty wear. The week ended today with our classic maroon and white day. Float building among the classes during the day and the parade this afternoon. Results of the class floats are as follows. 4th place, freshmen. 3rd place, juniors. 2nd place, sophomores. And 1st place in the float competition were the seniors, and this year's Spirit Stick winners were also the seniors. Homecoming activities will conclude tomorrow night with the homecoming dance. Our freshmen represented tonight is Sierra Elaine Glendenning. Sierra is the daughter of David Glendenning and Jenny Glendenning and has one sister, Emma, an OHS junior. This evening, Sierra is being escorted by her father, David Glendenning. Sierra is a member of FCA and involved in leadership. She was a member of the Osage Honor Academy in both 7th and 8th grade and is on the OHS tennis team. Sierra is active member of Christ the King Lutheran Church and the youth group there. Sierra has volunteered for many charities, including the Wingding, Ellis Fischel Cancer Research, and helped fundraise for local hospitals. Sierra is still exploring her plans after high school, but is considering the military with plans to go to college as well. Our sophomore representative is Abby Grace Mashaw. Abby is the daughter of Jason and Tanya Mashaw. Tonight, Abby is being escorted by her father, Jason Mashaw. Abby is a member of Student Council, a sophomore class president. She was a member and officer at Osage Honor in middle school. She participates in Dude, Be Nice, Fridge Club, Girls League, and is a leader on the OHS volleyball team. Abby is a member of Christ the King Lutheran Church, is on the youth praise team there. Abby has volunteered at the Hope House, worked with local foster care kids, and has volunteered as coach at FCA camps. After high school, Abby would like to go to college to become a pediatric nurse practitioner. Our junior class represented tonight is Cassidy Red. Cassie is the daughter of Matt and Katrina Red and has one brother, Jack, OHS, class of 2018. This evening, Cassie is being escorted by her father, Matt Red. Cassie is a 3-year member of Student Council and has been executive treasurer for the last 2 years. She has been in Spanish Club and Interact and Jazz Band the last 3 years. She is a 2-year member of Key Club, NHS, and OHA. Cassie has been involved in band since 6th grade, and since then has been a member of the All-District Studio Jazz Band, All-District Honor Band multiple times, as well as going to District Music Festival and going to state for her saxophone ensemble. After high school, Cassie would like to attend a 4-year university to major in clinical child psychology. Our first senior queen candidate is Abby Marie Cordia. Abby is the daughter of Charlie and Tina Cordia and has one brother, Chase, OHS sophomore. Tonight, Abby is being escorted by her father, Charlie Cordia. Abby is a member of the wrestling team and received 3rd at state in 2019 and is a member of Missouri's women's national wrestling team and the Fireman Elite in Fulton, Missouri, as well as helps coach youth wrestling. She is also a member of ProStart and FCCLA. Abby is a member of Christ the King Lutheran Church and received her nursing assistant certification from LCTC. After high school, Abby plans on wrestling in college and is undecided on her major. Our second senior queen candidate is Alexia Rose Jacobs. Alexia is the daughter of Michelle Wilson, Robert Wilson, and Delbert Jacobs, and is the youngest of 4 sisters. Alexia is being escorted tonight by her father, Delbert Jacobs. Alexia is an active member of FTA, Gateway Club, Key Club, and Tech Tribe. She has been a member of Dude Be Nice, Spanish Club, Volleyball, Track, Tribe, and LCTC. Alexia was a member of the OHS track team and is a 2-year varsity letterman. She also placed in Photoshop at the TFAM competition in 2019. She is a member of Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church, as has volunteered at the food bank, helped coach youth volleyball as well. After high school, Alexia plans to attend a 4-year university and major in media or architectural studies. Our third senior queen candidate is Kylie Jean Meisenheimer. Kylie is the daughter of Tabitha Maroney and Charlie and Lisa Meisenheimer, and has one brother, Colin, an OMS 8th grader. Tonight, Kylie is being escorted by Charlie Meisenheimer. Kylie is a member of Key Club, FTA, and Dude Be Nice, as well as the Marine Corps Auxiliary League. Kylie is on the tennis team and is a 4-year letterman and placed 8th in state in 2018 and plays at the Lake Ozark Tennis Academy. After high school, Kylie will be going into active duty in the United States Air Force. Our fourth and final senior queen candidate is Allison Kim Weatherspoon. Allison is the daughter of Kevin and Kylie Weatherspoon and has 2 brothers, Alex, OHS 2015, and Kevin, OHS 2018. Allison is being escorted tonight by Father Kevin Weatherspoon. Allison has been a member of Tech Tribe, Dude Be Nice, DECA, Tribe, Choir, of Volleyball, and was a co-captain her junior year. Allison has a 4-year letterman as a football manager. Allison has also helped coach OYAC and be a part of the OHSC school cleanup. Allison plans to graduate early and attend Ozark Technical College to get a registered nursing license, then continue her education to become a specialized nurse practitioner in pediatrics or obstetrics. Tonight's flower girl is Zoe Torres. Zoe is a member of Mrs. Baker's 1st grade class, and she is the daughter of Christopher Torres and Angela Torres. She has 2 sisters, Annika and Mallory. She is being escorted tonight by Keegan Gum. He is a member of Mrs. Ree's 1st grade class and has 2 brothers, David Garmany, an OHS 10th grader, and Kyle Gum, an OMS 7th grader, and one sister, Mackenzie Witt, who is a 1.5 years old. Our returning queen from 2018 is Miss Julia Daner. Julia is the daughter of Lisa and Fred Daner and has 2 siblings, Chloe, OHS class of 2019, and Kaylin Daner, an OHS junior. Tonight, Julia is being escorted by her father, Fred Daner. Julia is a current freshman at the University of Missouri and is a member of Alpha Chi Omega sorority and is majoring in journalism. And now, after much anticipation, the School of the Osage 2018 Homecoming Queen is Abby Cordia. Please join me in congratulating all of our candidates, as well as our representatives, in tonight's 2019 Homecoming Coronation.
This Osage Indians live broadcast on Lake TV is brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, the Midmo Sports Network, Surdike Yamaha, Marcus Sikora State Farm, Polylift Boat Lifts, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists, Ozark Homes, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Above and Beyond Roofing, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Columbia College Lake of the Ozarks, Big Surf Water Park, the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks, LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram, and Hedges Scott Funeral Homes.
It's back, finally. Slumberland's clearance event. Our first clearance event in 3 years. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, discontinued and one-of-a-kind items. Crazy low prices like beds as low as $199, sofas as low as $298, recliners as low as $198. Hey, did you know most Slumberland items can be in your home in a week? Hurry into our first clearance event in 3 years. In store at all Slumberland locations.
Hi, this is Kendall Surdike, and at Surdike Yamaha, we have been selling and serving the Ozarks for almost 50 years. We've learned during that time that our customers expect the best in their Yamahas, with same-day service and even courtesy loaner units. That is why at Surdike Yamaha, you receive 1 year of free scheduled maintenance with every new and used recreational Yamaha bought. You can have more fun with your Yamaha boats and wave runners that are assembled right here in the USA and won't have to worry about maintenance costs for the first year because it is on us.
You ride on our reputation.
Your vehicle, it's part of who you are. It's your partner in weekday traffic and your passport to weekend fun. It's your sometimes office and your all-the-time concert hall. For all your vehicle is to you, isn't it time you did something for it too? Check out the Quick Car Monthly Unlimited Wash Club. For only $25 a month, wash your car as often as you want. You'll enjoy significant savings. Join the Wash Club today. Quick Car. Quick, easy, and professional every time.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
This is your Lake Area State Farm agent, Marcus Sikora, and I would love to be the one you trust for your insurance needs.
Polylift Boat Lifts. Boaters everywhere have relied on Polylift Boat Lifts to raise their boat up and out of the water time and time again. Polylift Boat Lifts are made of the finest materials and offer a lifetime warranty on the tanks. Stop by Polylift and see the huge selection of wet steps, water toys, and dock accessories. You can even shop online at polylift.com. Polylift Boat Lifts. You know what they say.
We don't just build boat lifts, we build poly lifts.
Lake of the Ozarks is the boating capital in Missouri. Did you know that your prop is the most important part of your boat? With 27 years of propeller repair at Lake of the Ozarks, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, is the choice for you. The most advanced in propeller repair and scanning, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, can help you boat smarter, go farther, and last longer on beautiful Lake of the Ozarks. Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist. Go with the best or stay on shore with the rest.
Hi, I'm Tyler Loftus with Ozark Homes. If you're in the market for a new home, or you may be considering building, I encourage you to look into custom-built modular homes. Our modular homes are built, financed, and insured like a regular house. We invite you to visit our display lot right on Highway 5 in Laurie at Lake of the Ozarks. Each home we have on display shows different features from kitchen layouts, floor plans, bathroom options, and much more. We can customize floor plans based off what you, the customer, are wanting. Ozark Homes, family-owned, operated, and making homeowners' dreams come true for over 30 years.
This Osage Indians live broadcast on Lake TV is brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, the Midmo Sports Network, Surdike Yamaha, Marcus Sikora State Farm, Polylift Boat Lifts, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists, Ozark Homes, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Above and Beyond Roofing, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Columbia College Lake of the Ozarks, Big Surf Water Park, the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks. LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram. And Hedges Scott Funeral Homes.
It's back, finally. Slumberland's clearance event. Our first clearance event in 3 years. Massive markdowns all over. Closeouts, floor samples, discontinued and one-of-a-kind items. Crazy low prices like beds as low as $199, sofas as low as $298, recliners as low as $198. Hey, did you know most Slumberland items can be in your home in a week? Hurry into our first clearance event in 3 years. In store at all Slumberland locations.
Hi, this is Kendall Surdike, and at Surdike Yamaha, we have been selling and serving the Ozarks for almost 50 years. We've learned during that time that our customers expect the best in their Yamahas, with same-day service and even courtesy loaner units. That is why at Surdike Yamaha, you receive 1 year of free scheduled maintenance with every new and used recreational Yamaha bought. You can have more fun with your Yamaha boats and wave runners that are assembled right here in the USA and won't have to worry about maintenance costs for the first year because it is on us.
You ride on a reputation.
It's time for the Midmo Sports Network halftime show.
And we're back here at School of the Osage for our Midmo Sports Network halftime show. Of course, our first part of the halftime show tonight was the coronation for homecoming. That's a nice ceremony, always exciting time when you're a senior, your annual homecoming.
Yeah, you remember back to your own, right? Back way back in the dark ages for some of us. But yeah, it's cool to see its greatness. That's what high school's all about.
And now that we have named our homecoming queen, we can get back to football. And Chris, a first half that we talked about before we came on the air, we knew this team, Hallsville, they're 2-1 with an identical record to Osage. Their only loss of the season, a last-second loss in Week 2 to the 7th-ranked team in Class 2, Ava.
Yeah.
And they led that game 26-22. Halfway through the fourth quarter, went back and forth, and Ava, a long, time-consuming drive, punched it into the end zone for a touchdown with 30 seconds left to win. Otherwise, Hallsville's 3-0, and you get the sense from watching them in this first half. We hear of Cooper Crane, we know of Mason Husky, but it's this Jake Ashburn at the quarterback position, Chris, that I'm probably most impressed with.
I tell you what, I'm impressed across the board with this Hallsville team. Price of football just went up in this conference with Conyers taking over as head coach at Hallsville. But, the offense was very impressive. Unofficially 12 first downs in that first half. They ran the ball well. They controlled the clock when they wanted to. They went for a 60-yard touchdown pass, so they can go deep if they want to. And then they shut Osage down on offense, so that defense Hallsville puts out there is pretty darn good too. I mean, across the board, that's a pretty good team out there at Hallsville. So Osage coming back for the second half, this is part of the growing process. This is, part of the specialness of playing high school football. It's not all about wins and losses. When you're down by 32 points at halftime, you come out. You learn how to suck it up. You learn how to grow. You learn how to get better. Coach Johnson is teaching them that in the locker room. That's a part of the game, and that's a part of life, and that's part of what makes high school football so great.
Yeah, and you're right, Chris. You hit the nail on the head. Coach Johnson, he's a hard-nosed guy. 32-0 at halftime. It's not time to roll it over and succeed.
Yeah.
You got an opportunity here to show us what your team is made of. We talked about the next few weeks, how tough that schedule gets for Osage. So, hey, you're down 32-0. This game may or may not be out of reach on the scoreboard, but let's not worry about that at this point in time. Let's put a couple time-consuming drives together, see if we can't get that stride on offense that we've really yet to see from this Indians offense, and we talked about it.
Yeah.
Really no identity. We're not even sure who our quarterback is at times. Be an opportunity in the second half if Osage can, like I said, catch that stride and see if they can't figure out some rhythm on offense.
Well, and that's one thing we've seen from this Osage team so far to this point of the season is, they play their best ball in the second half. And a lot of times in the fourth quarter, one close loss to Moberly a couple of weeks ago that they made very interesting down the stretch. And then last week they won it in the fourth quarter. So they'll more than likely they'll come out and they'll play better in the second half than they did in the first half. That being said, that defense for Osage really didn't play all that bad. I know that's crazy to say when you're down by 32 points, but they really kept Hallsville in check for a lot of the game. Hallsville picked up some fourth downs that kept drives going. And basically in the end they were just pretty much unstoppable. But Osage, I mean, it wasn't like they got run over. They put up a pretty good fight, even though they're down by 4 touchdowns or 32 points.
And we talked about how this Hallsville team is a run-first team. We talked about the two-headed monster of Husky and obviously of Cooper Crane. But Crane's only got 17 yards on 6 carries, and Mason Husky has been limited to about 70 yards rushing on the ground. Of course, he does have the touchdown run and the touchdown catch. But most impressive tonight is this Jake Ashburn. He's 11 of 14 in the first half with 175 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and he's run 4 two-point conversions for this team. So it's been the quarterback, Jake Ashburn, that's actually been the big-time playmaker for Hallsville. And with this kind of lead, Osage will get the football first. But if they don't do something on this first drive, Hallsville's going to be looking to bury the Indians dead in the water as early as they can.
Yeah, and that's what Coach Johnson is telling his Indians in the locker room is we got to come out, we got to take the ball, and we've got to control the ball. We got to pick up some first downs. In that first half, unofficially, Osage only had 4 first downs. When you're having a hard time picking up first downs like that and struggling, I don't think that they picked up any third downs in that first half.
0 for 6 on third downs, Chris.
It's tough to stay on the field and control the ball when you're not getting first downs and you're not getting third downs to get first downs. So, they have to start doing that if they're going to have a chance to climb back in this one. But even if, they're just going to grow and get better in the second half, the offense is going to have to do that.
So that's going to conclude our halftime show, Chris, presented by the Midmo Sports Network, and Osage set to receive. And this is a very crucial first down because, Chris, maybe not going to get back in the ball game, but you don't want to give the ball right to Hallsville. And so we'll see what Coach Johnson and this Indians coaching staff, what they talked about at the break and what they want to do here. And Stinger, the kick, it's going to bounce and be fielded by Hans at about the 17-yard line. A nice little hole there as Hans across the 30 up to about the 34. A violent looking hit. First man there was Marcel Drolet, the sophomore for Hallsville, and Osage starts over 1st and 10 now at their own 32-yard line.
As bad as that first half was for Osage being down by 32 points, there were some really inch plays in that first half. What I mean by that is they almost had an interception, went through their hands by inches. Almost had a long pass play, went through his hand, just missed it by inches. Osage needs to start converting some of those.
Edwards going to be upended and taken down in the backfield. Cooper Crane, and that's a 5-yard loss and not the way the second half should have started for Osage.
Nope, definitely not what they had drawn up on the chalkboard there at halftime. They were certainly hoping for something better than that.
We talked about Camdenton up 40-0 after the first. Well, we're at the halftime, and Camdenton extends that lead. They're up 60-0 at the break. And how about a game for Cooper Ezard? He has 4 touchdown catches in the first half.
Wow, we saw them last week in a win over West Plains, and that was probably the game of the year. Big win for Camdenton.
Jack Dooley with the carry, keeps the legs churning. He has positive yardage back to the initial line of scrimmage up at the 32. 3rd down and 10 upcoming, and so we'll see here for Osage. They were actually 0 for 5 on 3rd down in the first half and already facing a 3rd and long here in their opening possession of the second half. And crowd starting to thin here a little bit at halftime, and it was a capacity crowd to start, and Osage faithful that really wanted to see the Indians keep it close, but thus far it's been all Hallsville.
Yeah, I tell you what, it was impressive in the first half for Hallsville.
James Hutchcraft conservative call on 3rd down and 10, and Hutchcraft has 1. Going to bring up 4th down and 9 and probably a punt situation.
Yeah, so, still 0 for the game on 3rd downs for Osage, which they're going to have to figure out if they're going to keep this Hallsville team off the field. Hallsville has proven, though, that they are stout both on offense and defense. I tell you what, is it as impressive as Hallsville's been on offense, they've been equally tough on defense.
So Drew Edwards, he had that 44-yard punt to end the first half. He'll look to build on that. Gets rid of it, another decent punt. We're going to have a roughing the kicker call. So Osage going to catch a break, and another penalty against Hallsville, and nice return on the play by Emmett Carlos. He has it up to the 39-yard line, but we'll check 2 penalties presented by Ozark Holmes. Roughing the kicker, it's the personal foul.
And
it's
then
going to be an automatic first down for Osage.
It looks like it, and that's a big break for Osage. They weren't able to pick up the first down on their own, but they get a first down on penalties. So a nice, huge break. That's the 2nd time in this game that the Osage Indians have picked up a first down on penalties.
They're going to move this all the way up to the 49-yard line, a 15-yard penalty, and here's Osage with an opportunity as Hutchcraft and McCubbin are spelled. So the small package in for the Indians. Maybe we'll see him air it out here, Chris.
Well, yeah, and one thing you were telling me, part of the conference rules is if there ends up, a tie at the end of the season, they look at, who scored the most points and winning margin and stuff. So you might think Hallsville would take their foot off the gas, but maybe not.
Edwards in trouble. He's going to throw it away, and that could be an intentional grounding. It will be. No receiver in the vicinity, still in the tackle box, it appeared. So Osage catches a break of the roughing the kicker, and now the penalty flag presented by Ozark Holmes. I believe it's going to be an intentional grounding.
Boy, I thought he was close to being out of the pocket on that one. It was pretty close.
Well, okay, so I didn't tell you, it doesn't matter. In high school, there is no in or out of the pocket.
Okay.
You're not allowed to throw the ball away for any reason out of bounds with no receiver in the area. So it is 10-yard penalty, loss of down, 2nd down and 20. Another Ozark Holmes penalty flag. And right when Osage looked to catch a break, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot. So 2nd down and 20. 9:36 left in the 3rd. Edwards, he will pass into the flat, looking for his man. Hans just out of his reach. That's going to bring up a big 3rd down at 18.
Yeah, that was close. Again, just out of his reach. Would have picked up some good positive yards and made it a lot easier 3rd down try. So it looks like 3rd down coming up and long, tough for Osage. And they stopped the clock with that pass too, 9:31 in the 3rd.
32-0 your score of the night so far belongs to the visiting Indians from Hallsville. Of course, Coach Devin Johnson's former school. He spent 2 years, 6 and 4 seasons, both years at Hallsville in 2012 and 2013. And his team in trouble here. 3rd down and 18. Edwards airs it out, looking towards the sideline. There's going to be a penalty flag as Havner was interfered with. We may also have a holding call, so you could be looking at offsetting penalties presented by Ozark Holmes and Laurie. But first, our officials will talk it over.
Yeah, it looked like might have had some pass interference or holding out there on the receiver, and then holding for the Osage offensive line. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Pass interference, they offset. So the 32 points for Hallsville, kind of strange. It's 4 touchdowns and 4 two-point conversions. And that will go to show you how confident Hallsville is when they get the ball of being able to pick up at least a couple of yards on every play, because they went for the 2-point conversion, didn't even hesitate. Now, I'm not sure if that's because they don't feel too good about their kicker, or they just feel like they can ram it down your throat pretty much whenever they want to.
Well, I think it's the latter.
Probably right.
3rd down at 18. Edwards Looking for his man. That's caught inside the 30 down to the 24-yard line. Elijah Stark, first time we've called his name, all the way down to the 25. That's good for 34 yards and a first down.
Huge play and a great pass. Edwards put it right on the money. The receiver broke open. He was running a post play there, and there was a receiver beside him that drew the defense away, pulled open, a nice catch, and Osage is on the move.
So Elijah Stark, his first play couldn't have come at a bigger time, and the Indians first down and 10 at the 25-yard line. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Into the flat, has his man, trying to split the defense, but cannot. Modest gain of 3, maybe 4, but I like what Edwards did there.
Yeah, absolutely.
10 yards of separation, and the cushion given.
That's a long pass out there into the flat. It took a while for it to get out there, allowed the defense to get up there and make the stop, but a nice little gain for sure. And as you called it earlier, they're starting to open up the offense here.
No choice at this point in time. Running game simply not doing against this tough-nosed defense from Hallsville. Second down and 7 now. Edwards gives it to the up man, little hole here. Nice carry down to the 10 as the Indians now inside the Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone. They'll have another quick car first down with first and goal from the 10. The first goal to go situation for this Osage offense tonight.
Nice quick hitter for the Osage Indians right up the middle. Good trap play. They squeezed the runner right through there, picked up some great yardage, and now they're within range here, but they've got to go a full 10 yards.
Watch Logan Havner, top of your screen, inside give. Hutchcraft the carry. Actually, that's a new Indian in there. That's number 42 for the Indians. That's Hayden Wood, the senior. Not sure if something happened with James Hutchcraft, but Hayden Wood, the last 2 carries for Osage, brings up second and goal from the 8, Chris.
Yeah, he picked up 2 yards on that, got a little bit closer. I tell you what, these yards are really tough when you get down inside the 10. There's less space for the defensive backs to cover, so it makes things a little bit tougher.
Over the middle and incomplete. A play action looking for McKelvin, and he says he wants him to throw it up, but gonna bring a third down and goal from the 8, and the Indians here in 4-down territory. Field goal not gonna do you a lot of good down 32 points here as we're almost midway through this third quarter, Chris. Indians, I'd say this is 4-down territory.
Yeah, probably so. It looked like he had his receiver open across the middle there, but it's tough to see through all the bodies. Sometimes he might not really have had a good look at where he was. Underthrew it. It's tough because it did look like he had a little bit of space there.
Third and goal. Drew Edwards, time to get big in the flat. Has his guy Logan Havner taken down after a gain of 2. Nothing doing, and nice defense by Hallsville, and you got to get something misdirection. Play action, shift across the set, something to move this defense and open something up for Drew Edwards.
Yeah, so the question here, you're down by 32. Do you go, you try to get it in the end zone, put a touchdown on the board, or do you just want something? Do you want to put up crooked numbers on the scoreboard and say, at least we didn't get shut out?
Yeah, I like the opportunity to punch it in the end zone here, Chris. Only a 4-score ball game still. If you find a way to score a touchdown at a 2-point, you keep hope alive just this much. So, fourth down and goal. Edwards throws, intercepted in the end zone at the 3. 3 yards into the end zone, all the way out to the 20-yard line. That's number 9, Jordan Decker, the senior defensive back for the Hallsville Indians. And he's had a nice year for this team. That's going to be an interception in Hallsville.
Yeah, you know what?
Keeps the shutout going.
Nicely designed play. And again, it almost looked like the receiver might have had some room in the back. You know, if it would have been thrown a little bit higher and further in the back of the end zone, there might have been something there, but pretty good defense. Defensive back was there to haul it in and run it back, and now a penalty looks like it's going to advance it a little further.
Penalty flag by Ozark Holmes. Tack on 15 yards with a personal foul, and Hallsville's going to have it first down and 10 at the 37-yard line, Chris. And I did want to remind everybody to make sure you vote yes on November 5th for an increase in the Tri-County Lodging Association tax for the development of a destination tournament soccer complex. Now, this means no tax increases for local residents, up to $75 million in annual increase in visitor spending, creating new jobs and extending employment with more family visits in spring and fall when the lake needs it most. To find out more, make sure you attend the next public forum from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 1st at the Exchange in Camdenton. This message has been paid for by the citizens of the promotion of sports tourism at Lake of the Ozark. Now, Chris, 6:16 to go. Osage, oh so close, and you're not able to punch it in, but how about Justin Conyers and this Hallsville squad?
It's been pretty impressive so far. 4 touchdowns, 4 two-point conversions for the 32-0 lead. Now, this is the first time the offense from Hallsville has touched the ball in this second half. It was a great job from Osage controlling the ball as much as they did driving it down the field. Unfortunately, they didn't come away with any points, and now Hallsville gets it back.
Ashburn the give to Husky, who he's quick. Uh-oh, look out across midfield, trying to get outside, pushes his own man. He's down to the 38-yard line. That's another 25-yard gash of this Osage Indian defense on the legs of Mason Husky.
That guy's a stud, isn't he?
Oh, I'll tell you what, Chris, he does it all, and he was changing gears and directions, pushing his own offensive lineman out of the way. So first down and 10. Escobar was there, but Jake Ashburn eludes him and scampers 11 yards for another first down for Hallsville, presented by Quick Car. They're nearing that Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone, already leading 32-0.
Yeah, and again, you know, we saw it in the first half. This Hallsville team, this Hallsville offense is not a fluke. They're strong, they're powerful. They, under Coach Conyers, they are finding themselves getting better and better every week and on a roll. And you can just see their confidence growing almost every possession.
Ashburn now is going to give it to Husky, who's up the middle, still on his feet, inside the 15. We'll give him 13 yards, another Hallsville first down, presented by Quick Car. And Hallsville now back inside that Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone. They've spent a lot of time tonight in that territory. 5:40 to go. And if the Tri-County Conference had not taken notice of the 2-1, Hallsville Indians and Mason Husky lowers the shoulders, lays the boom, and scores from 13 yards out. I'll tell you what, these guys are tough, and Mason Husky just delivered a message, not just to the Osage Indians, but the rest of this conference. This Hallsville Indians team is for real.
Yes, they are. You know, but we knew it coming in because we knew of Justin Conyers, you know, success at Battle and what he had done there. That was no fluke. We knew it was no fluke here, but when you see it with your own eyes, it just cements it.
Cooper Crane up the middle. 2-point conversion is successful yet again, and it's 40-0 Hallsville, 5:28 left in the third. We'll be right back on Lake TV after this.
This Osage Indians live broadcast on Lake TV is brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, the Midmo Sports Network, Serdike Yamaha, Marcus Sikora State Farm, Polylift Boat Lifts, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists, Ozark Homes, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Above and Beyond Roofing, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Columbia College Lake of the Ozarks, Big Surf Water Park, the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks, LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram, and Hedges Scott Funeral Homes.
And welcome back, folks, to Lake TV's Game of the Week and the most lopsided affair we've had yet this season. Chris, and we knew Hallsville was good, but I didn't really see it being this lopsided this soon. I thought Osage was going to have an opportunity to hang in there early and try to keep it close, but tell you what, I did not know Hallsville was this solid as Havner.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive, that's for sure. They've pretty much dominated from beginning to end. It's like Hallsville has 15 first downs in the game right now. Osage has 7, and 3 of those 7 for the Osage Indians came on their last drive, which was pretty impressive. They ran, a lot of clock. They drove the ball down inside the 10-yard line. They just couldn't score any points. And it took Hallsville, not a minute and a half to score that touchdown.
They took over with 6 minutes and 16 seconds left. It took them 48 seconds to score that time. And Hutchcraft up the middle, nothing doing. No, actually, once again with the carry, big number 42, Hayden Wood, the senior. So with 4:35, not sure if James Hutchcraft's night's over. I see him on the sideline. Now let's take a look here across the Tri-County Conference and look at these Tri-County Conference standings. Chris, right now you talked about these two teams atop the conference at 1-0 in the conference. Then you look at the points as we'll look to show the Tri-County Conference standings. 2nd down and 7 now. Another modest gain on 2nd down and 7. Going to bring up 3rd down. And so we'll look here at the Tri-County Conference standings, Chris, and Hallsville sits up top at 1-0, 2-1 on the season, and they've only allowed 6 points this season in conference play. Right now that stays at 6, and Osage had allowed 14. They were in 2nd, but after tonight, you're going to see Southern Boone and Blair Oaks and those teams take over for them. And what's crazy, Chris, is Eldon right now holding tough at halftime, 22-16 against Southern Boone in the lead, but that's a close one.
And I think Eldon looking for their first win, aren't they?
Dooley on 3rd and 4 is stopped in the backfield for no gain. First player there, number 52, Jesse Ortiz, and that's going to bring up 4th down as Osage tonight, Chris, is just 1 of 9 on 3rd down.
Yeah, it's tough too. Clock running, about 3 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. You're down by 40 points, so obviously you're trying to keep a hold of the ball, maintain possession, and keep running that clock and maybe get some points, but that was a tough stop there. So 4th down, dropping back into kick mode.
You're right. Eldon still looking for their first win of the season, as are the Versailles Tigers, are the California Pintos, as Emmett Carlos with the return on a really short kick and gang tackled at the 44-yard line, but a nice return of 18 yards. Going to bring up 1st down and 10 for Hallsville once again, and back out onto the field. Actually, is that number 3, or do we have a new quarterback? I can't tell. Looks like, okay, so still in there at quarterback, Jake Ashburn, a senior, and touched on it all night, Chris. He's looked so solid.
Yeah.
Both keeping the football and nice pitches on the quarterback option, really selling the read option and running the football effectively. But most impressive, he's throwing the football accurately, and he's only made 1 bad decision tonight, which was a really nice play by Jack Dooley. So here goes Cooper Crane, and a great tackle.
Nice tackle there.
On the play is Connor Kender, the sophomore, and Kender's starting to really make a name for himself with the Osage defense as just a sophomore. Love seeing those sophomores get in there and start making plays, and that's how Hallsville has built this powerhouse team this season, is Cooper Crane and Mason Husky. They've been starting since their sophomore season, so they've had a lot of varsity action coming into this senior campaign, and it certainly shows. 2nd and 8, Emmett Carlos with the give. Block in the back, and there's 4 flags. All 4 of the officials throw one, and nice play by Carlos, but to no avail. It's actually going to back him up. This penalty flag presented by Ozark Homes, and you don't see it that often that all 4 officials throw the hanky.
Yeah, that one was pretty obvious for everybody to see, and you were talking about how good this Hallsville quarterback is. What what he has shown us tonight, and really, he's shown us that he can do pretty much everything. He runs the ball real well. He's very fast and he's strong, but he's also proven tonight, which we didn't know because they've been so run heavy this year, how well he can throw the ball, and he has thrown it extremely well. And on top of that, he's very good with that read option. So, you know, in the times when he has decided to keep the ball, he's picked up big yards, and then he's handed it off at the right time too. So he's really done pretty much everything right for Hallsville tonight.
3rd down and 19 now, and pitch outside, and look out, here is Mason Husky, and he's got a good gain. He has the 1st down, and on 3rd and 19, Huskies down to the 29. He has 24 yards and a 1st down, and I'm telling you what, that is the epitome of the way this night has went for the Osage Indians.
Yeah, but you know, and it also shows you how much confidence that Hallsville has in running the ball. You had, you know, I mean, a long way to go, 19 yards, and you run a run play. You pitch the ball out there and you pick up big yardage, get the 1st down.
That is a very concerning sight as Mason Husky is down on the Osage sideline, and this is not what you want to see if you're a Hallsville fan. We'll take a short commercial break. We'll have an update for you after this on Lake TV.
This is your Lake Area State Farm agent, Marcus Sikora, and I would love to be the one you trust for your insurance needs.
And we are back here on Lake TV for the remainder of the 3rd quarter. Chris, the mercy rule's kicked in. The clock will continue to run. We're inside 20 seconds. It's 1st down and 10. Cooper Crane with the carry, cuts back across the middle of the field. He's got 12 yards, another quick car 1st down, and that's going to conclude our 3rd quarter of play. And not a lot of scoring in the 3rd quarter, just 1 touchdown and 2-point conversion for Hallsville. They lead 40-0 after 3. We'll be right back on Lake TV with the 4th quarter after this.
Polylift boat lifts. Boaters everywhere have relied on Polylift boat lifts to raise their boat up and out of the water time and time again. Polylift boat lifts are made of the finest materials and offer a lifetime warranty on the tanks. Stop by Polylift and see the huge selection of wet steps, water toys, and dock accessories. You can even shop online at polylift.com. Polylift boat lifts. You know what they say.
We got time for them boat lifts. We build Poly lifts.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
This is your Lake Area State Farm agent, Marcus Sikora, and I would love to be the one you trust for your insurance needs.
And we are back for a little Cotton Eye Joe here at School of the Osage, and 40-0 doesn't damper the spirits of the Osage faithful. You see the band, Chris, they're having a good old time. No one's telling them the night doesn't belong to the Osage Indians, because it doesn't matter the score. Those kids having a blast.
Absolutely. That's the way it should be. It's not all about the W's and the L's out there, although I'm sure they would rather have a W going out there. But, yeah, it's great to see everybody still having a great time. It was good to see the injured player get up and run off the field earlier, so all is good.
Yeah, Mason Husky able to walk off the field under his own power, so a breath of fresh air, I guess, a sigh of relief as Cooper Crane up the middle, taken down inside the 5. He's got another 15-yard gain, another 1st down presented by Quick Car and Osage Beach, home of the Unlimited Car Wash Club. Chris, $25.99. Take your car as many times as you want, even every day. Quick Car, home of the Unlimited Car Wash Club, as Hallsville Indians inside the Marcus Sikora State Farm Insurance red zone with 1st and goal from the 5. Ashburn, a handoff. Cooper Crane to the house. Touchdown, his 2nd touchdown rush of the night, his 3rd touchdown of the night. He also has 1 receiving, and He pours it on as the Hallsville Indians now up 46-0.
Yeah, you know what? And it's almost like they're getting stronger, isn't it? They're running the ball better now. And part of that might be that the Osage defense is just getting a little worn down and worn out there, but they are just gashing the Indians defense on almost every play now.
And how about this? For the first time tonight, we'll see the Indians from Hallsville attempt a point after. So Ashburn will hold the kick from Stingers up and plenty good. So that answers our questions about whether or not Hallsville can kick. The answer is this, Chris. They just feel like they can punch it down your throat, and that is exactly what they're doing right now. The Indians from Hallsville lead 47-0 over the hometown Osage Indians. We'll be right back on Lake TV after this.
Lake of the Ozarks is the boating capital in Missouri. Did you know that your prop is the most important part of your boat? With 27 years of propeller repair at Lake of the Ozarks, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, is the choice for you. The most advanced in propeller repair and scanning, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist, can help you boat smarter, go further, and last longer on beautiful Lake of the Ozarks. Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialist. Go with the best or stay on shore with the rest.
Oh. We're back here on Lake TV with 11:24 left in the game. The clock will continue to run once we kick back off. And Chris, I thought Hallsville was good, and I'm telling you what, they're as good as advertised and a whole lot better.
You know what, and the thing is, this is the first year for the new head coach, Justin Conyers, so his program is new, his offense and his defense are new, and you can see this Hallsville team just getting better and more confident even as the game goes on. So as good as they are now, they're going to be even better as the year goes on.
Stinger kicks. Havner fields that about the 20-yard line, takes it up to the 32 for a 12-yard return with 11 and change left in the game. We now say hello to former Lake TV color analyst Dave Glendenning and fiance Renee Roller in the booth, and Dave's daughter, Sierra Glendenning, the beautiful freshman representative for Osage tonight as royalty. Got to tell you, look at Dave and how sharp he looks.
Maybe we need to put the headphones on him and you guys can have a flashback.
I got to ask you something real quick, Chris. Who wears the blazer better, Dave or Renee?
She wears anything better than anybody in this room.
That's true.
Yeah.
Renee Roller, as cool as the other side of the pillow as the Osage Indians get a little good fortunes maybe from our own Renee Roller up in the booth. That's a big-time gain by Connor Kender. He's all the way down to the 30-yard line, and that's good for a 37-yard gain, Chris. And Connor Kender's that sophomore we talked about. We've called his names a couple times defensively. Now on the offensive end, we see what he can do. That's 37 yards and a big-time play for the Indians.
Nice for Osage, man. As much as they've been getting beat up here tonight, they need some positive things to happen. They need to, have those big plays. They need to find ways to move the ball on offense, and they need to get in the end zone.
I do want to say, a lot of times you look at a game that's this out of hand and you think, man, I'll tell you, the quarterback for the losing team must have really had a bad game. Not true for Drew Edwards tonight. He hasn't had a lot of opportunities throwing the football, and he's been under duress. But we've seen him make some really nice throws. He got off to a really good start on their first possession, and he's only got the two interceptions, but it's been limited the amount of damage he's done. It's just been this Hallsville offense is that strong.
And the defense is too. But you watch the Indians and they're popping up after plays. They still seem to be, having a good time out there, playing very hard. It's great to see.
Kender once again the carry, and modest gain of 1 as we approach the 9-minute mark, and the remainder of this one shall fly by as that clock will stay running. And following the conclusion of tonight's game, Chris, we'll wrap up with our Serdike Yamaha post-game show. We won't talk with any head coach or players, but Chris and I will be right back following the conclusion of the game for our short but sweet Serdike Yamaha post-game show. Russ Reinhardt told me we had to make it quick because he's got a movie to go see with his boys.
Well, there you go. You got to have your priorities, man.
So 3rd down and 9 That one falls harmlessly to the turf, and
yeah, they weren't going to pick up any yards on that one, even if it had been a good pass, a good reception. So 4th down, and from the 29, you got nothing to lose, right? You're going to be going for it, try to pick up that 1st down, maybe break something open, get into the end zone.
Yeah, if you're Osage right now, Chris, the only thing you're worried about is not getting shut out at home for homecoming.
Absolutely, yeah. It's rough to get beat up like this, 47-0, but it sure would be nice if you could put some points on the board.
You always talk about a good defense able to get off the field on 3rd downs. Hallsville's defense tonight has held Osage to 1-10 on 3rd down. Taking a shot for the end zone and falls incomplete as Emmett Carlos, the closest man, the Hallsville defender. That falls incomplete, and Hallsville back in offense, and we'll see if Jake Ashburn comes back out to the game, as well as those 2 powerful backs for Hallsville.
Yeah, and that's all Edwards could do on that was throw it up. He was under a heavy rush. He was going to go down. Might as well throw it up and say a prayer. Maybe somebody will run underneath it. There was just nobody there to run underneath it. Hey, vote on November 5th for an increase in the Tri-County Lodging Association tax for the development of a destination tournament soccer complex. No tax increase for local residents. $75 million annual increase in visitor spending. It'll create new jobs and extend employment and more family visitation in the spring and in the fall in our area. If you want to find out more, attend the next public forum. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, October 1st at the Exchange in Camdenton. And this message has been paid for by the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Chris, and that could be a really cool deal for Lake of the Ozarks. Cost the local residents nothing. This is going to be on the back of visitors paying an increase of 3% on the lodging tax in the Tri-County, and it's going to create, as you see, $75 million an annual increase in visitor spending, more jobs, more tourism without costing the people anything, and that is Escobar with another tackle. The quarterback guy in the line of scrimmage is 3rd of the night. He's already got a sack and a tackle for a loss. I'll tell you what, Escobar here, Rudy Escobar, the senior linebacker, you wouldn't know it by looking at the scoreboard, but he's had himself a nice game tonight.
It's a very good game. And, you know, it's, again, going back to what we were saying during the halftime show, it's high school football. It's a part of the growth process. It's not all about the wins and the losses. And, you know, and when you're in a game like this and you're getting blown out, there's still a lot of things you can learn, not just about football, but about life.
Here's a little option now as Stinger in at tailback. Sorry, actually, that's number 41 getting his first action tonight. Harrison Fowler, he's just a freshman, Chris, but he gets the carry, going to bring up a 3rd down and long. And Hallsville tonight on 3rd down, 4 of 7, haven't faced a lot. Their last one was 3rd and 19 that they converted on that long Mason Husky play.
Yeah, and they've had several of those, 3 or 4 of those long 3rd down plays that they've converted tonight, and that's part of the reason why they're up so big in this.
Uh-oh, look out. This time, nothing doing for Harrison Fowler, the freshman. He has a modest gain of about 7 or 8 yards, and that's going to bring up 4th down and about 8 here in an obvious punt situation as Hallsville, they're going to improve to 3-1 on the season. Chris, and as we look around the league, Eldon, they're losing big now to Southern Boone, who will improve to 4-0. They're going to play Blair Oaks next week, who's 4-0. They're tromping Versailles in Versailles tonight. Osage, they'll fall to 2-2, and they'll play at Booneville as an impressive punt by Cooper Crane, and takes a bounce inside the 30, and we'll go out at the 24 where Osage will take over 1st and 10. And Versailles, we talked about it. Big loss to Versailles. They'll fall to 0-4, and we had an interesting game next week. We'll go to California where both teams will be 0-4. That'll be our game of the week, Chris, and sometimes those are the most fun games.
You betcha. They'll be playing for, both teams will be playing for their first win of the seasons, and, you know, they've struggled out of the gate so far this season, but in that game, both think they will have a shot to win that.
And Camdenton, we had 2 of their first 3 games. We won't see them again until week 9 when they close the season against Kickapoo at the Jaws of Death. but they're winning big this week at Central. They'll be at home next week against a winless Hillcrest team, setting up one of the biggest games of the year, week 6, as they'll travel down to Lebanon.
Yeah.
You understand the importance of that rivalry, Chris. Both teams will be ranked inside the top 5 in the state. One of the oldest rivalries, and Osage now 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go, down 47. An opportunity to take that goose egg off the scoreboard, and Gavin Escobar, the big-time defensive playmaker for the Indians, on the sideline. And been a tough night for these Indians, but if you would have told Coach Devin Johnson after 4 weeks they'd be 2-2, he just might have taken that.
Yeah.
So a lot to still be done, but as we touched on, partner, that's a tough schedule upcoming for Osage.
Yeah, it is, and remember that this is the third of 3 straight at home, so they're going to have to head out on the road for a while now, and that's not going to make things any easier.
So 2nd down and 8, nothing doing on the carry. We bring up 3rd down and 8, and Chris, talk about Hallsville. We've harped on it all night, how impressive Jake Ashburn's been, how impressive Cooper Crane has been. Of course, we've talked about Mason Husky, but really, even you look at the defense and offensive line of this team, and not only do they control that point of attack, but on offense, we saw big holes all night long for these Hallsville ball carriers.
Yeah, we sure did. I mean, they've been impressive in every part of the game. Everything that they have done well, and it's been impressive. And they're going to be they're a team that's going to have to be reckoned with as this year goes on.
Connor Kender, a tough run on 3rd and 8, and he has just the Indians' 2nd conversion on 3rd down tonight on 3rd and 8. So a little positive there if you're the Indians.
Osage's 9th first down of the game unofficially. And they've done better moving the ball in this second half than they did in the first half. They really actually controlled the ball for much of that 3rd quarter. They didn't get any points on the scoreboard, but they were able to have possession of the ball for quite a while. That has definitely saved them some grief.
Quick hitter into the flat, and Kinder said no thank you on that one. That was putting him in harm's way. And to be honest, you always want to try, but in a game of this situation, down big, I can't say I blame the young man.
You know, and the Osage offense, the receivers out on the edge when they've thrown those out there, the receivers that are supposed to be blocking for them have not done a good job giving them any room to catch the ball or run after the catch. But again, that's some pretty good defense from Hallsville too.
So 2nd down now, Kender gets the carry on 2nd down and 10, and a nice patient carry by Connor Kender. And now, Chris, this is something to build on for Osage.
Yep.
You see the sophomore coming in and spelling Matt Hans, and of course, you know, James Hutchcraft at tailback, and I've been impressed what I've seen from him on offense and defense, and just a sophomore, that bodes well for his future under Devin Johnson.
You betcha. And, you know, that's one of the great things that, you know, you can go back, you can look at that, and you can see things like that, some bright spots that start to come out.
So 3rd down and 1, and back-to-back 3rd down conversions for the Indians, and that's a nice way to end the evening on 2 3rd down conversions. And in a game like this, Chris, might sound silly to some of you at home saying, well, boy, you guys are really looking at anything you can for positive for the Indians, and you've got to in a game like this.
Sure.
If you're Coach Devin Johnson, we've got to take something away from this game that we can build on. You look at Connor Kender coming in here and playing some good minutes.
Yep.
And, you know, the play of quarterback Drew Edwards was really solid at times, and against an incredibly tough team. We didn't quite know just how tough this team was till tonight, as Jackson Creasy, the junior, with the carry, and 25 seconds to go. That might be our final play from scrimmage. But folks, don't go anywhere. Following the conclusion of tonight's game, the legendary Chris Schneider and I will be back with you for our post-game show presented by Surdike Yamaha. Tonight we promise to keep it short, we promise to keep it sweet, but you don't want to miss it. We'll have that when we come back. And your final from School of the Osage in the battle of the 2-1 Indians tonight. Hallsville victorious by a score, 47-0. Tonight belonged to the Hallsville Indians, and head coach Justin Conyers, his first season at Hallsville, gets off to an incredibly fast start, 3-1. And I'll tell you, Chris, we'll talk with each other when we come back about the way tonight's game went. But really impressed with Hallsville. We'll talk about that and much more on our Surdike Yamaha postgame show.
Hi, this is Kendall Surdike, and at Surdike Yamaha, we have been selling and serving the Ozarks for almost 50 years. We've learned during that time that our customers expect the best in their Yamahas, with same-day service and even courtesy loaner units. That is why at Surdike Yamaha, you receive 1 year of free scheduled maintenance with every new and used recreational Yamaha bought. You can have more fun with your Yamaha boats and wave runners that are assembled right here in the USA and won't have to worry about maintenance costs for the first year because it is on us.
You ride on a reputation.
It's time for the Surdike Yamaha post-game show.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Lake TV. It's your Surdike Yamaha post-game show following our game of the week each Friday night. Chris, our good friends at Surdike Yamaha right now got some really good year-end clearances. They're over actually at the In-Water Boat Show this weekend over at Captain Ron's, and a lot of our good friends, clients are there this weekend with some great deals to be had over at Captain Ron's all weekend, so go check that out. Now we deflect our attention right back to tonight's homecoming game for the Osage Indians, and your final really tells the whole story.
Yeah, 47-0. And, you know, it was so impressive the way Hallsville did it. They pretty much dominated from beginning to end. You know, at the very beginning, Osage had a chance. Obviously, you know, they were still in it. But once Hallsville got rolling, it was over. I mean, there was just no stopping it, and they picked up steam as the game went on. In the second half, the holes were bigger, the runs were longer. It was something to see. So this Hallsville team is going to be, they're going to have to be reckoned with as things go on, not just in the conference, but probably in the state tournament as well. And their coach has a lot of great experience. I mean, he's won a state championship at Battle. This is his first year here at Hallsville. So I think for years to come, bad news for Coach Devin Johnson and Osage and everybody else in the conference. You're going to have to pick up your game because things are just getting tougher.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, just one of the best coaches in the entire state of Missouri during his tenure with Battle.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a new school in 2013 when he took over that program. They were ineligible for the playoffs. Still, they went 5-4 that year.
Yep.
Still a winning season. And since then, every year you touched on, his team got to the state quarterfinals, including 3 of those 5 years. They got to the state semifinals, including going all the way in their first year of eligibility back in 2014. And we actually had that Battle team against Camdenton during that district championship in 2014. And Camdenton was the favorite, and Battle took care of business that night, and they had 5 players on that team that night that went on to play Division I.
Wow.
So Justin Conyers know how to build players at the high school level, prepare them for the next level, and you alluded to it. Tri-County Conference, if you didn't know the name Justin Conyers, well, here's your wake-up call, because he came into a tough School of the Osage environment on their homecoming night.
Yeah.
He left no questions, ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Indians team to beat in the Tri-County Conference this year is the one from Hallsville. They're 3-1, and they're flying high.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, you know, it's really going to be interesting to see when they, you know, meet some of the other powers in the conference a little bit, you know, down the road. But they sure made a statement tonight, because when they scored a touchdown, and we saw their kicker come out at the end of the game and, you know, kick a PAT, and he nailed it. I mean, he's a really good kicker, but they didn't even toy around with any PAT. They just said, hey, we're going to come out, we're going to score 2-point conversions all night. They just ran it right down Osage's throat. And I think Coach Conyers was making a statement to the rest of the conference of exactly what we said. We're here to be reckoned with, and you better get ready for Hallsville.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, through 2 conference games thus far, their defense giving up just an average of 3 points a game. So look out. We talked about Osage as we look at their upcoming schedule. Let's see if we could pull up the Indians' remaining schedule again. They fall to 2-2 tonight. And the reason we thought it was so crucial, Chris, they go play Boonville next week. They're 3-1 on the season. Southern Boone, we think they pulled away from Versailles Lake. They're going to go to 4-0. Then you have that trip to Versailles where the Tigers at 0-4. They look to win next week against California, but that may be Osage's last chance realistically to win a ball game. Usually they play Blair Oaks, first-ranked team in the state, reigning state champions. They play them in their last home game here in Week 8, and then that game against Eldon in Week 9, always a tough rivalry. And Coach Chad Holt and the Mustangs struggling this year. They were 0-3 coming in to tonight's game, and they played Blair Oaks tonight, so I don't imagine that was, Eldon actually played Boonville, and I don't imagine that was a good night for them there. So Osage, they got their work cut out for them the rest of the way. As far as us at Lake TV, let's take a look at our remaining broadcast schedule, Chris. We have California playing host to Versailles next week, a battle of winless teams. That'll be fun. We'll have the Pintos again in Week 6 as we have our first Mustang game. The Pintos travel to Eldon. Then Week 7, it's going to be the Osage Indians traveling to Versailles. Week 8, we'll have the Eldon Mustangs at Versailles. And then we'll end with a game that should be a barn burner. It's the Kickapoo Chiefs at the Camdenton Lakers before we roll in with playoff time. And those of you that don't know, we'll cover any local school as far as they'll take us with the most appealing matchup, maybe Camdenton Week 10, and then as far as that team will take us, we could even go all the way to the state quarterfinals. But Chris, any final thoughts on the eve of the Camdenton homecoming that really belong to Coach Justin Conyers and the Hallsville Indians?
Yeah, I tell you what, Osage was just a little outpowered, outmatched tonight, and that became pretty obvious pretty quickly. And Coach Conyers, if there was any question about what he did at Battle, being a fluke or something, there's no question about it. He brought his magic. He brought it to Hallsville. He's teaching them. And again, his motto basically is, if you're going to play for me, you're going to show up with a great attitude and a whole lot of energy. And you saw both of those things out there on the field today. Hallsville's going to be tough for the rest of the season.
So for the Indians, it's not season over, 2-2. And before we sign off, we'll look at just some of the unofficial stats. Husky, he finished a great game, 16 carries, $137, 2 touchdowns. He also caught a touchdown. Jake Ashburn, what a game he had. 7 carries, 57 yards. 5 2-point conversions successfully.
You know what? We've seen some really good quarterbacks so far this year. We've done a couple of Camdenton games. They've got a great quarterback. West Plains, great quarterback. That quarterback we saw from Hallsville today is right up there. I mean, he is talented.
Yeah, don't look now, Tri-County Conference. Everyone said with this Hallsville team, you got to worry about Mason Husky, got to worry about Cooper Crane, but I didn't hear anybody this offseason talking about Jake Ashburn, and that's not going to be the case down the stretch. Also impressive for Camdenton, Connor Kinder, he had 7 carries, 63 yards, the sophomore. Hayden Wood, he had a nice couple of carries. James Hutchcraft, he wasn't anywhere to be found tonight for the Indians. 7 carries, limited to 17 yards. We'll attribute that to how good Hallsville's defense is. And for Hallsville, Ryan Roberts, 1 touch, 75 yards to pay dirt. Emmett Carlos, 7 catches, 82 yards. Cooper Crane, 3 catches and a touchdown. And the one bright spot for the Indians catching the football, we love Logan Havner. He had 7 catches tonight, gaining 54 yards. Those were very hard-earned yards.
Yeah. You know, and there were a couple of plays that made a big difference for Osage tonight. There was a pass in the first half from Hallsville out on the flat that just barely got over the fingertips of the defender, who thought he had a play on the ball, and if he could have gotten it, a pick six, because it was a wide open field. You had another play that was very similar to that was caught by Hallsville, big plays. And then on the other side, you had a long pass that went through the hands of the receiver for Osage that could have been a big play. So there were about 4 of those plays that were, by inches, that if they would have been the other way, not that Osage would have won the game, but they would have made it a little more competitive.
That's right. So, partner, your final 47-0. I'm having an absolute blast with you here. Our fourth
me too.
Call
Yeah.
in 2019. This is the great, legendary Chris Schneider gracing us with his presence. A big shout out to our entire crew, starting with our director of photography doing the switching, Andrew Evans in the truck. We also have our production assistant, Anne-Marie Holtz, doing a wonderful job her first season. Brendan Thompson, our top camera angle. Ricky Smith, our chief engineer, running our field camera and setting up our wireless network. Of course, Ross Reinhardt, our head production assistant. Adrian Reinhardt, a production assistant. You also got Jonah Debert running graphics in the truck as a production assistant. You are the great, legendary Chris Schneider from
I'm not sure about all that.
The Coyote.
We have the easy job, right? I mean, they do all
true.
the hard work. We just sit here and talk.
Well, it's my pleasure to be broadcasting with you, Chris Schneider, on behalf of Lake TV and our entire crew. I'm William Holtz. Until next time, good night and God bless.
This Osage Indians live broadcast on Lake TV is brought to you by Slumberland Furniture, the Midmo Sports Network, Serdike Yamaha, Marcus Sikora State Farm, Polylift Boat Lifts, Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists, Ozark Homes, Quick Car in Osage Beach, Above and Beyond Roofing, the Missouri State High School Activities Association, Columbia College Lake of the Ozarks, Big Surf Water Park, the Citizens for the Promotion of Sports Tourism at the Lake of the Ozarks, LOZ Boats, the #1 Lake of the Ozarks boating community on Instagram, and Hedges Scott Funeral Home,